I'm gonna tell you when it all changed. Obviously, my first year there, you know, played great basketball, got all the way to the finals, losing the finals. I played like shit. Spo is the reason why we were a better team and our team was more assembled properly. That summer, he went to Oregon and hung out with Chip Kelly.
Oh, interesting.
He when we lost to Dallas, he went to Oregon and hung out with Chip Kelly and learned the spread offense and tried to figure out if we could translate that to basketball. And don't know the super conversations that him and Chip had, but I know when he came back to us, he knew in order for us to reach our potential, one, I had to be like 10 times better than I was in that previous June finals.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to the Friday Night Exposure with The Exposer. I'm your host, Ajani The Exposer, going live directly off of the GOAT James Kingdom channel, right off the YouTube. So y'all go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, check out the membership for becoming a member of the GOAT James Kingdom channel. Thank you for joining me on another Friday night. As you guys know, I bring it like nobody else. I'm Ajani The Exposer. We are the GOAT James Kingdom platform. Y'all know what we do here on a Friday night. You can also catch us on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Discord, Instagram, Twitter. You guys know how we do here. It's another Friday Night Exposure with The Exposer. Tonight's topic is, yes, obviously, the big elephant in the room for any LeBron fan. That's the 2011 Miami Heat and the 2011 NBA Finals. We have LeBron James with JJ Reddick finally speaking about it. We got the GOAT's take about himself and what happened in 2011, and they spoke about it very briefly. They talked about the super teams. So we're going to have a great discussion about the 2011 Miami Heat. As y'all know, I am a Miami Heat fan, and the Heat are actually on the slate tonight. They're playing against Houston. There's some other games going on tonight. There's actually a whole boatload of games going on tonight. You guys should check it out. There's some real good games because the Warriors are going up against the Mavericks. You also got the Timberwolves going up against the Suns. So there's a lot of playoff matchups coming up right here tonight. But it is the Friday Night Exposure with The Exposer. So I want to thank you guys for taking your time for coming out and hollering at me on a great Friday night. I see everybody in the comments. I see y'all. Make sure you hit that like button, fellas. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Also check out that membership because again, we are out here doing good things for our members, and we trying to keep it going because we are the GOAT James Kingdom platform. I'm Ajani The Exposer. Again, thank you for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. It is another Friday Night Exposure with me, and we're going to have another great show. So again, tonight's show is going to be about the 2011 NBA Finals, and we're going to discuss whether or not the Miami Heat actually overachieved or underachieved. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the Heat overachieved in 2011. I'm going to tell you this as a Miami Heat fan. I can tell you that off the top of the head. Yes, the Miami Heat overachieved in 2011. And we're going to discuss that because LeBron James also discussed how that roster was set up and how everything came about and how they were able to actually get better in 2012 and 2013 to be back-to-back champions like the Miami Heat were. So again, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Welcome to the GOAT James Kingdom channel. This is the Friday Night Exposure with The Exposer. I'm Ajani The Exposer. Y'all know what I do. I come to host it. I'm going to put the link up very shortly so that y'all can go on ahead and join me in this conversation and we can have a great show. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking the Miami Heat of 2011, yo. So shout out to y'all. I see y'all in the comments, man. Peace and blessings, y'all. Y'all know how we do here. Y'all make sure to also hit the poll in the comments. All right, let me know if the Miami Heat overachieved or underachieved. We need to know this because I think I'm going to be one of the very few that said they overachieved, and we'll find out by the end of the show if I'm right or wrong. But again, the Miami Heat were a very special team in 2011. It was a special time in the NBA. Kobe was a back-to-back NBA champion. He finally got his 5th ring. So that means Shaq was on watch. Dwayne Wade said that he was on watch because he was thinking to himself, damn, Kobe got 5 now, right? He admitted to it, all right? So the NBA was really at a high pitch at that time. And that off season, that 2010 off season was one of the greatest off season of all time. Everybody knew how many players were available that off season. There were so many players available for free agency during that offseason. Now, there were some that didn't actually like hit the free agency because they just re-signed with their team. Because I believe even Dirk Nowitzki was a free agent that year. And I believe some of the Boston players were free agents. And I think guys just re-signed. But it was the big three between Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James, and Amari Stoudemire, and a few other guys that were true free agents during the 2010 that really made the 2010 offseason exciting. And everybody wanted to know who was going to go where. And I remember sitting around thinking to myself, man, the Heat always trying to do some things. What are they going to do? Boston is good. How are we going to get better? Dwayne Wade was getting knocked out in the first round. We were not looking good as a franchise. We were shuffling players in and out. I remember we had, Sean Marion, all types of players on our team during the 2008, 9, and 10 seasons. But the Heat did what they can do, what we always do, because Pat Riley is a brilliant GM. He knows how to evaluate talent, and he knows how to build a roster. So the 2011 Heat come around because Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron James decide to come together and become the Miami Heat, the big three, the big Heatles. That was the big conversation back then, right? But a lot of people didn't understand that roster needed to be filled out. Even back then, people were saying, how is that roster going to be filled out? Because the Heat were paying max contracts to these guys. So how much cap space did they have to really fill out the roster? A lot of people were saying they don't know how they were going to fill out the roster. When they signed Dwayne Wade, they signed Chris Bosh, they signed LeBron James, they only had Udonis Haslem and Ilgauskas available to sign with them as far as free agency going, and then they had Chalmers, and they brought back a bunch of guys that were like the end bench players, and they got to get rid of other players because of money. They brought in Mike Miller, who also took less money. You see what I'm saying? But that whole 2011 season was an experiment. There was no solidified team itself. It was just the big three, and from there the media ran with it. And, just to give y'all a little bit of understanding of what I'm talking about, LeBron James talked about it more with JJ Reddick. All right? Him and JJ Reddick talked about how the Heat had to make a transition the next year. Because it wasn't just as simple as LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, and now you're going to win a championship. It wasn't that easy. Now, mind you, they did come together to win a championship. And he breaks down in the show. If you guys can get a chance, Mind the Game is an incredible show between JJ Reddick and LeBron. And this time they actually got into some narrative talk. They talked about the super teams. They talked about 2011 and failure and all of these other things. LeBron said that this was his lowest point in his career was 2011, obviously. He admitted to his faults that he didn't play too well. He could have played better. He should have played better. But he also talked about the things that him and Spoelstra did to change the team next year. But he also talked about the roster. So we're gonna listen to LeBron James talk about the Miami Heat and what it took for them to overcome what happened in 2011, and then we're gonna discuss 2011. I'm gonna bring up actual folks here so we can have a conversation. Shout out to you, Hip Hop Forever. That's right, y'all. Y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, y'all, this is the GOAT James Kingdom channel. It's Friday night. It's the Friday night exposure with the Exposed. I'm here with y'all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show y'all a little bit another clip of LeBron James and JJ Reddick talking about this, and again, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we do here in GOAT James Kingdom. We allow the game to speak for itself. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and let LeBron James speak here.
We knew in order for us to reach our potential that CB would have to go to the 5, and we had to spread. He had to start working on his corner 3 faithfully every day after practice. Corner 3. Every day after practice. We're going to post you up. We're going to get you your elbow catches. Offense is going to run through you at times. But in order to bring, the Tyson Chandlers out of the paint, in order to bring the Roy Hibbers out of the paint, in order to bring Tim Duncan out of the paint at times, in order to bring Kevin Garnett out of the paint, you got to hit these corner 3s. You got to at least be a threat. He went and learned. He said, the way I coached in that finals versus Dallas, unacceptable. I told myself the way I played, unacceptable. And he came back with vengeance, and I was locked the fuck in from start to finish, but it was fun.
All right, so you heard LeBron James talk about what they did in 2012, and that was obviously changing the whole offense and going into a spread offense, which I believe JJ Reddick was the first one to say that the Miami Heat, I believe he said that. I forgot who said that, were the first team to play that small ball. I think it was Iguodala, if I'm correct. And he stated that because of what they were doing in Miami in 2012. And I also remember Iman Shumpert said about the 2012 and the Miami Heat were crazy. He said that LeBron James and Dwayne Wade didn't take no jumpers. Like, they were just going down the lane. And during the Mind the Game podcast, LeBron James mentioned that during that whole offseason for the 2012 season, after the 2011 finals loss, that during that training camp, Spoelstra had this thing where he called the freight train lane, which was basically the wing slot cut areas where you basically were just for LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. No big men were allowed to run down there if they were on a break. So people like Chris Bosh and them had to start playing outside. But what was the big difference between the 2011 Heat and the 2012 Heat was they got rid of those big men and put Chris Bosh as a big man. Because they got rid of Iguodala, Dan Pierre, and they kept Joel Anthony. I believe Joel Anthony was on the 2012 roster as well. But they got rid of Dan Pierre, they got rid of McGlure, they got rid of Elgauskas. They had these big men on the team. They had a horrible roster in 2011. Outside of LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, they really had nothing going for themselves. And I'm going to prove this. So I'm going to bring up the link and we're going to have a great conversation because as you can see, LeBron James and this Mind the Game podcast is going to be great. They're trying to find ways to poke holes at him throughout this whole thing, but they can't because they're actually talking basketball. Him and JJ Reddick are talking the game. And he admitted to his flaws. He said it, I played bad. I didn't play the way I could have played. But it was a lot of dynamics that went into that, and we're going to discuss that. Because, again, the Miami Heat at that time were not expected to even win. At that time, the opening game of that season was Miami versus Boston, and Miami got their ass kicked. And Rondo said on live national television that they had no problem saying that they were the best team in the East, and the Heat were no issues at all concerned. Because Boston was already running the East for several years. So they weren't really afraid of Miami. And they knew Miami didn't have a roster. Y'all going to find out who was playing on the Miami Heat during that 2012. That's why I want to bring people up. Because I want people to tell me if they know exactly who was on that roster outside of the big three. So I see y'all in the comments, man. Shout out to y'all. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Don't be afraid to become a member of the channel. Because again, ladies and gentlemen, GOAT James Kingdom is not going nowhere. We are only growing. We're growing on IG. We're growing on Facebook. We're growing on Twitter. We're growing on TikTok. That's all we do is drop content left and right. So we're going to keep doing that for y'all. So shout out to everybody who has supported us and keep supporting us because, again, it's appreciated by Brandon and I. And we'll be back this Sunday to talk more GOAT James because we actually going to be ready for the Lakers. As y'all know, the Lakers are on a superior run right now, and they're looking like the team that won the in-season tournament back in November and December. So, but back to the topic, right? So we're going to discuss this. I'll put the link up for anybody who wants to join the panel and get up here and talk to me because this Miami Heat team that everybody thinks was supposed to be champions, that was automatically champions because LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh got together. Mind you, it was a clear roster. There was nobody on the team. There was nobody on the team when those guys decided to sign. That's how smart Pat Riley was. That's how intelligent Pat Riley was. He knew by 2011 he had to have cap space for all of these guys to come on his team, and they were going to build a roster. And that's what it really was. It was if the Heat didn't win it in 2011, forget it. From here on out, they were going to win the championship because once they start adding pieces to the team, these were the players that were on the 2010 Miami Heat roster. All right, y'all. When we go to their starting lineup, right in 2010, the Miami Heat had Dwayne Wade, Michael Beasley, Quentin Richardson, Jermaine O'Neal, and Carlos Arroyo was their starting five. That was the Heat starting five. Coming off the bench, you had Joel Anthony, Mario Chalmers, Rafer Austin, James Jones. Like that was the 2010 Miami Heat. You had Udonis Haslem as well, right? Then all those guys were basically gone. When you go to the next NBA season, they didn't have those guys. Outside of the big three, I want you guys to tell me who was on that roster. So we know LeBron James joined the team. We know Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh did. So I want y'all to tell me who was on that roster. I put the link up for anybody who wants to join me. Because y'all love to talk about basketball. Y'all claim y'all saw it. Y'all always want to talk about 2011. Here is your turn. If you want to get the exposure, you got to come get me tonight. What can I say about 2011? I already gave you a bullet. They overachieved. The Miami Heat making it to the NBA Finals in 2011 was an overachievement. They weren't even supposed to get there. They weren't better than Chicago, and they weren't better than Boston. But they ended up beating both of those teams in the playoffs to make it to the finals. They overachieved. Those teams underachieved. They were supposed to make sure the Heat wasn't supposed to get there. That was their job. That was their last chance, their last shot. 2011. If you don't beat the Heat here, you're definitely not going to beat them again the next year. It's over for y'all once the Heat come together. So here's the link. Come on, Craig Shepard. I see you in the comments. Come up. You made stupid videos about me. My war paint is on. Where you at? The link's up. Come embarrass me like you say you wanted to do. As you can see, I got people watching our show. But you don't want to come up because you know what's going to happen to you. You have now been exposed by the exposer. Y'all see him. His name is Yosemite Slam. Y'all let Yosemite Slam know what it's about here. That's the guy that made that crazy video about Brandon and I in his bathroom, screaming about war paint and immigrants. Y'all go ahead and get on that guy. Get on him right there. He's right in the comments right now. His name is Yosemite Slam. Yosemite Slam. Peace, peace. What's good, King Fly? What's good, brother?
Man, what's good, man?
Nothing
What's
much.
on, man?
Nothing much. I wanted to see who wanted to talk about 2011 with me today, but I'm waiting to see. I don't see nobody available. Can you? You got you got something playing in the background because it's echoing.
Nah, hold on.
Close the YouTube and stick to the browser where you're on the platform to talk. Yeah, man, these guys here some crazy, man. These guys here some crazy. But let me give y'all the Heat roster because I can see y'all don't want to talk to the exposer tonight. So I'm going to talk to the folks. I'm going to talk to my peoples again.
I'm still echoing.
Button. Yeah, you're still echoing a little bit, but you're a little bit better.
I'm gonna drop and come back.
All right, do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give y'all an opportunity to see what I do here at GOAT James Kingdom, man. Because you know what I'm saying, y'all are some scary dudes, man. 2011 is your opportunity. 2011 is your opportunity to come to me and say, hey, Johnny, you don't know basketball. You're just a LeBron sexual. You're just a Heat fan, blase, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is you want to talk to me about today. But let me give y'all a little something about this Miami Heat team, all right? So if we go to this Miami Heat roster, when we go to 2011, Carlos Arroyo shows back up. Mario Chalmers shows back up. Udonis Haslem shows back up. James Jones comes back. Jamal McGlure comes back. Those are the guys that come back outside of Dwayne Wade. So and Joel Anthony. So we're talking about 6 guys from the previous team came back. And all the guys we're mentioning, none of them were starters besides Carlos Arroyo. Right? You got Carlos Arroyo, Dwayne Wade. The other 4 guys were bench players. So then you come up, you get Dwayne Wade, you get Chris Bosh, you get LeBron James. Then they add a Big Z. Then they get Juwan Howard. They get Eddie House. They get Eric Dampier. They get Mike Miller, right? And that's how they fill out the Miami Heat roster with these type of players. So when we talking about the 2011 Miami Heat, they didn't have a filled out roster, right? Which is what JJ Reddick was trying to explain. Because if you look at this Miami Heat roster, they're really not that good. If we look at who was starting for the Miami Heat between 2011 season, 2010-2011 season, these were the guys that started the most games. Carlos Arroyo played over 40 games with the Heat that year. He had the most starting games for the Miami Heat that year. He actually had the best record amongst all the starting lineups as well. He was in it for that season. So that's who you had as your starting point guard for the supposed championship roster. Then we had Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Bosh. Then Big Z was your starting center. And Big Z only got there because LeBron James made sure Big Z got his last contract the same way Dwayne Wade made sure Haslam got his contract. So then you have their sixth man is Chalmers and James Jones. These are the guys that were playing the most coming off the bench. Legitimately, this was the Heat. This was the 7 that was supposed to run the NBA championship in 2011. Outside of the big 3, they didn't have nobody else. They don't even have a backup for Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. Udonis Haslem played like 12 games, 13 games that season. Mike Miller played half the season. He played like 41 games, and he played less than 20 minutes per game. Spoelstra didn't know how to use him. Like, this is what the Miami Heat were running with, and they still won 58 games. They still won 58 games. And it didn't get better in the playoffs because they added players like Mike Bibby. Mike Bibby ended up starting. That's how horrible Arroyo was. Remember, they only had those guys from 2010 because most of those guys' contracts were going to end by 2010, 2011. So the Miami Heat understood they were going to have cap space to sign players. That's why as of 2012, they went and picked up players like Shane Battier. They picked up Chris Anderson. They picked up some players to help solidify the team, to make the team a little bit better. They ended up drafting Norris Cole. But then if you get to the playoffs, this is who they were running into the playoffs. This was their starting lineup in the playoffs. It was Mike Bibby, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Joel Anthony. Joel Anthony was averaging less than 3 points per game. They had nobody averaging over 8 points per game outside of the big 3 for the playoffs. They had nobody averaging outside of 8 points during the regular season besides Udonis Haslem. Udonis Haslem played 13 games. So let me bring up King Fly right quick. What up, King Fly?
Man, I was just gonna say what you were just gonna say about them not having no points per game, and in another note, a lot of those players on the team was very old. They was already like over maybe 10, 12 years in the league. Like for it's like Mike Bibby, they had Jerry Stackhouse on that team in a regular season, and Big Z. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't really have no good quality bench. So that's the first thing I said in the comments when I seen the video about that they overachieve. I said they overachieve, especially when they didn't have no bench. And like you just said, they didn't have nobody to come in and get them guys no breather like that was going to either keep them in the game, to keep them afloat. You know what I'm saying? So if one of them guys definitely got in foul trouble, it was over with. And Joe Anthony, he was so sorry back then, bro. He used to get on my nerves, bro. Like, I didn't understand why he was even on that roster, bro. I used to be mad at him, like, yo, why they even got him on the roster, bro? Like, he was pure trash, man.
Because
he was garbage.
again, you're right, because a lot of those guys were on veteran minimum contracts, which was allowing the Heat to put them, because again, the Heat were over the cap with the big 3. So the only players you really could have gotten at that time were players that were veteran exception type players, right? To get a mid-level exception because they were older players. They had veteran minimum contracts, so you was able to get them that way. But then the next season come along, you add a player like a Shane Battier. You get a Norris Cole to back up more of a point guard, to get somebody to help you. You start playing more. You start playing Mike Miller more. You see what I'm saying? You open up the offense, like he said. They literally created spread offense for the NBA, so that players like Dwayne Wade and LeBron James could have clear paths to the rim and dominate that way. You see what I'm saying? So they had a better team definitely in 2012, and then when you go to 2013, they add Rashard Lewis, they add Ray Allen. So that's why the Heat were always getting better, and that's why. But by 2014, the problem that happened was Dwayne Wade decline was faster than anybody anticipated. He was good for the regular season, but by the time the playoffs came around, Dwayne Wade couldn't do it anymore. And Dwayne Wade didn't have it anymore after 2014 for sure. But at the end of the day, that 2011 team definitely wasn't a championship roster. It was just hyped because they had the big 3.
That's a fact. And then, Spoelstra didn't really know what he was doing either that first year. It was his first year, coaching a player like LeBron to the stature like that, him and Dwayne Wade. So, like I said, most definitely overachieved, man, with the team they had and then how far they went. But yeah, they did get better over the years, like you were saying. Like the contracts were expired, they were able to get more players to help them out during the season and the postseason. But yeah, it definitely was an overachievement though, man. Because we see it right now today. Players is teaming up and they don't even go to the finals. They don't even really get past the second round a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? So you know, just for the notion, people be saying like, "Well, Bron go team up and he go get players to go win," but you still got to go out there and play. So I just hate how they be putting that narrative on him, like he just go get people and they just expect everybody to win because he did it. But everybody ain't LeBron because everybody don't have the tangibles like he have or the leadership skills that he have to pull them through where they need them to come through. And that's what we seeing right now. The players like Kevin Durant, even the Kawhi Leonard, for a sense, like with the team he got right now, them dudes are loaded. And if they don't make no noise this year, man, I just think they need to break that team up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not to get off topic, but I just think they need to break that team up. They don't really do nothing this year. Just break that team up. But yeah, it shows you how bad they was, especially by these numbers, man. Like I said, I even just went on and looked at it myself, and just to see that it was nobody else outside of the big three that averaged 10 points regular season and postseason is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't expect them to go
Over
out there.
8, not just 10. 8 points. 8
Right.
points. With all that spacing, with all the spacing available, all of that stuff, you still weren't able to take advantage of the Heat. Aaron, the link is up for you, my friend. You said you wanted to talk. We can have a conversation, brother. Again, this is the GOAT James Kingdom platform, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. I'm up here with my boy King Money Fly. You can catch him on TikTok because King Money Fly does go on TikTok and does his thing on TikTok as well. But again, y'all, the Miami Heat of 2011 did not have a championship roster. They just did not have it. And I know y'all want to get upset at me and say they did, but I want you guys to explain it to me how this team is just supposed to win a championship. They made it to the finals. I got it. When you get there, I guess what y'all feel, they're supposed to win it. But the Dallas team was a more complete team and understood how to beat the Miami Heat.
And it was a better defensive team too, man. It was way better defensively too than the Miami Heat. That's the reason why they won. Like defensively, they was all clicking on the same cylinders. Miami Heat, they didn't really have a good defensive schemes like that. They didn't have good defensive players like that either. You know what I'm saying? Outside of LeBron and Wade, those was your only defenders. Like Bosh, he's okay. I'm not saying he's not a bad defender, but he's okay. But outside of Bron and Wade, those was your defenders. And outside of those two dudes, you didn't have nobody up there to slow the other team down, or you know what I'm saying, to put pressure out there on them. It was just Bron and Wade for his defense. And so like, about time Bibi got over there, he's like, oh man, like, and that's the thing too, man, when people be trying to say like, well, Bron go get help, then a lot of times he be getting players, they be way out of their prime, they be washed up, like, bro, they not the same player. You know what I'm saying? Like if it had been Bibi, maybe a couple years when he first got to Atlanta, all right, they would have been all right, but he still would have been bad because that's not the Kings, Bibi. You know what I'm saying? He's wasted all his years in the West. Not say waste his years, but he played all his good years in the West Coast. So it's like, by the time he came to Miami, he's way old, you know what I'm saying? And he's not able to do anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it was just so bad, bro. Like, you even watch them out there. Like, if them dudes went out there, if Bron and Wade and Bosh went out there doing nothing, then the rest of the team really weren't doing nothing at all. So, like I said, when them guys went on the bench, the bench weren't even able to keep them in the game. Like, they probably would get blowed out. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wouldn't be able to sit down. So you expect these guys to run 82 games all season and then go to the playoffs and run them all playoffs. And then you want them to win. I don't understand that. Of course, you're going to get exhausted. You're going to be tired. You might not have enough energy to have enough gas in your tank. And people don't think about that. But like I said, when you got these numbers up here right in your face, there's no argument that they was definitely overachieved. Like, look at these numbers, bro. Like, they don't. And I think Dallas probably had like 5 people in that finals that had maybe double digits or something. They had like 5 people, maybe.
No, they just had a better team. Like, just like Aaron, this guy Aaron saying, when you're the GOAT, you're the difference maker. Yes, that's why he was able to take a team that wasn't even supposed to be a championship contending team to the finals. That's the point. They overachieved. They weren't even supposed to be in the finals. They were not better than Boston. They were not better than Chicago. They did not have a team. This was a makeshift team. This was a team that was thrown together to play a season until they can get to the next season. Because everybody knew they didn't have the cap space to just sign anybody they want to. That's why they just picked up a bunch of random players that were on their last leg. Like you mentioned with Bibi. But when you're talking about Bibi's not on the floor at the end of the game. Like a Jason Kidd, when you mention Jason Kidd out of his prime, when Jason Kidd is not really out of his prime necessarily, but he's still effective for Dallas, and he's being guarded by Chalmers and Mike Bibby. So he's completely effective there. Like he's not. They don't have nobody to shut down Jason Kidd at all. Jason Kidd could get the Dallas Mavericks into their offense, because you have to worry about Jason Terry. You have to worry about Shawn Marion. You have to worry about Dirk Nowitzki. You have to worry about Tyson Chandler, who's actually easily getting lobs left and right, who's dominating in the paint. That's why he said that they had to take Chris Bosh, put him at the 5, and move all big men out. That way, LeBron James and Dwayne Wade have clear lanes all day long. So this spread offense that y'all are talking about that exists today, it started with the Miami Heat. And when you listen to LeBron James, he said it actually started with Dwight Howard and the Magic. That Stan Van Gundy figured out a way by getting the roster together, by getting Rashard Lewis and getting Turkoglu, which can play the 4 position and make them spread the floor. It gave Dwight Howard nothing but space, because he had nothing but shooters around him. And back then, Magic were taking over 25 3-pointers per game. That was a lot of threes per game to take back in 2000s. So that's what you guys fail to realize. You guys don't be talking the game. You don't know the game. So you got any last words, King Fly, before I let you go? Because I want to answer some of these questions. I see people.
Nah, man. I'm probably finna just go back in the crowd, man, and finish watching the show, man. You keep doing up the good work, man. I'm gonna keep tuning in every week in and week out, man. You know, I'm a big supporter of you guys, man. I like what you guys got going on. Like I tell you guys every time I be on your shows, man. Just keep doing y'all, man.
I appreciate you. Thanks you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Y'all know where to find that, man. That's King Money Fly. You find him on TikTok. He be doing this thing on TikTok. All right, thanks for letting me know that I did misspell Chalmers. It's with an L, not Chalmers. Mario Chalmers. That was another guy. He thought he was a part of the Big Four. Imagine him telling y'all he's a part of the Big Four. That's how limited their roster was, that Chalmers could claim to be a part of the Big Four. Legitimately. And mind you, Chalmers did win a national championship in college and hit a big shot in a national championship game and played big in a national championship game in the tournament. So we're not going to give, Chalmers too much flack, but he still wasn't that dude. You know what I'm saying? He said, no, here we go again. There we go again. No one expected the Mavs to be nobody expected the Mavs to be in the finals. You're right. But the Mavs did have a better team than the Miami Heat. The team that was supposed to win the NBA champion was the Los Angeles Lakers, and they got swept by the Dallas Mavericks. The Los Angeles Lakers had a better roster than the Miami Heat had in 2011. You guys just think that Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Bosh were just supposed to sweep the NBA like that was it. That's why you guys don't know basketball. Just because you have 2 or 3 of the best players on the court doesn't necessarily mean you're going to automatically win if you don't have a team concept and a team behind you. That's why you guys sit here and think Michael Jordan was winning championships by himself. No, he was winning because he had a full set roster of players, a complement of players. They had one of the best teams in the league. And during his championship runs, he had the best team in the league. But that first season for the Miami Heat, they were not supposed to be in the championship. They were just coming together. Tell me what NBA team that was supposed to win a championship their first NBA season. Put that in the comments. Tell me that. What NBA team was supposed to win a championship their first NBA season? What team? Even Boston Celtics, when they got the Big Three, wasn't expected to win a championship that first year. And they did, and that was the only championship they won. I knew you was going to bring them up. I knew somebody was going to bring them up. I knew you was going to bring up the 2008 Celtics. No one had the 2008 Celtics as champions. They were definitely contenders. Don't get me wrong. The same thing with the Heat. The Heat were contenders. I'm not saying they were, but nobody had them as the favorites. And for them to be the automatic, nobody said they had the best roster. No one said that Boston team had the best roster because nobody knew what Rondo was going to be in 2008. He was a rookie. They just had Kendrick Perkins. They had Terry. They had what's his name? Terry Allen. They had James Posey, who had just left the Miami Heat. So they had a good roster as well. They were more filled out than the Heat were. They didn't expend all of their assets to acquire Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen. like the Heat did. The Heat, and mind you, the Heat had to make trades for LeBron James and Chris Bosh. It was a sign and trade. That's how Chris Bosh and LeBron got their money. So it's not making excuses for anybody. It's just putting it under the proper context. Like y'all like to say, it's the proper context. And that proper context is that 2011 Heat team was not a real roster. It was not a real team. Half of those players knew they were not going to be on the team. They were not going to be on the team the next year. They were actually knew they were not coming back. That's why Eddie House went talking shit about LeBron, because he didn't get the okay to come back the next season. They cut him loose to bring in Norris Cole, a rookie. He was upset about that. He thought he can help the Heat win, but you couldn't. Can't do nothing. You can't do that. So, you know, like I said, man, this is why the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposure is the best. Oh, here we go. There we go. Let me get this together here. Let's get this going here. What's good? What's good? Hey, what's poppin', bro? What you got for me today, young man? Hello? Are you there? I don't hear you. Let me put this link up for some more, y'all. I don't know what happened to Aaron. You can come back up. I'll let you in. But again, listen, y'all. The Miami Heat of 2011 overachieved. I'm going to say it again. The 2011 Miami Heat overachieved. They could have won the NBA championship, and that would have been more of an overachievement. Let's see what's good, Adrian. Adrian says, "Hey Johnny, I believe the 2000 Miami Heat had Wade and Braun not mocked Dirk. That actually woke Dallas up. Had that not happened, I believe Miami wins that series." I don't think them mocking Dirk gave Dallas a wokeness. To be honest with you, if you guys remember what happened that series, Miami was up in game 2 and they coughed up game 2. Miami should have been up 3-0 in that series. And that's what Dallas noticed. Dallas noticed that the Miami Heat Final 5 roster was going to be Chalmers, LeBron, Wade, Bosh, and Anthony. And they took complete advantage of it in the fourth quarter. And Jason Terry took advantage of it because Jason Terry was being guarded by Chalmers. And oh my bad, and it wasn't Udonis. I'm sorry, it wasn't Anthony. It was Udonis Haslem. And they were trying their best to stop Dallas, but Dallas was just playing too good. And then they like Dwayne Wade said, they would bring in JJ Barrera. They had no answer for JJ Barrera because JJ Barrera is not coming in and he's being the main guy. He's coming in as the in between filler. So you can't put Dwayne Wade on JJ Barrera. You can't put LeBron on JJ Barrera. So JJ Barrera is being guarded by Bibby. He's being guarded by, like, they understood what the Heat were doing. They completely took advantage of it. So by game 4, that's the same thing that happened. So after that cough incident that supposedly happened, in that game 4, the Heat were up as well. They coughed up game 4 and game 2. But they did that because Dwayne Wade was supposed to be the closer of that series. Dwayne Wade was supposed to finish these things out. Dwayne Wade hit that 3-pointer in game 4, and they went up. I think the Heat went up double digits at the time. It went crazy. They were talking shit. And then Jason Terry came out and lit the Heat up. And that's what happened. But that was because Dallas had a good roster. They all knew their roles. They all understood their roles. They all knew when it was their time to take over. So Jason Terry understood, I don't have to do nothing the first 2 or 3 quarters because when the fourth quarter comes, I'm going to get my 5 to 6 shots. I'm going to get my 10 to 12 points there. That's where I'm going to affect the game because that's where and the Heat are not going to change. And they said that, and the Heat never changed. That's why we lost game 4, game 5, game 6. They finally figured out how to do what it was going to take to beat the Heat. And they adjusted. They adjusted their roster. They changed their philosophy. I put the link up again, Aaron. I put the link up. Y'all see Craig Shepard, the white supremacist. Y'all make sure y'all let that white supremacist know this is GOAT James Kingdom. You have now been exposed by the exposer. You don't have to download Chrome, brother. You just gotta log into a site, click that link. I see you on other shows talking shit. But again, the Miami Heat of 2011 definitely had a chance to win the NBA championship. I'm not saying that. I just told you they coughed up game 2, they coughed up game 4. I remember how they coughed up both games. And I said to myself at that time, you're not going to win an NBA championship giving up games like this. This is a 7-game series. You can't give up 2 games like this. And everybody was like, oh, the Heat have found a way. They're still, after game 4, nobody was complaining about the Heat. They still thought the Heat were going to win. It wasn't until they saw what happened in game 5, which LeBron James had a triple-double in, that people started realizing, oh man, Dallas is really running with this because they're closing it out. The Heat had no answer for Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk Nowitzki was marvelous that series. And Dwayne Wade and LeBron James didn't know what to do. Both of them were looking at each other like, yo, who wants to do this? Is it your turn? Is it my turn? That's why that offseason, Dwayne Wade said, no, it's not my team. It's LeBron James's team. He's the leader. We follow him. So there was no more confusion after that. LeBron James got himself in gear. Spoelstra went and found out how to create a better offense for them to be able to be dominant so teams couldn't strategize against him. And from there, the Heat went on a run. That 2012-2013 Heat team is one of the best NBA teams of all time. Y'all will say it's a super team, but y'all won't tell me they'll beat the 96 Bulls. That's the facts there. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. Here we go. We got my boy here. What's up, Aaron? What's good, bro? What you got for me? Let me hear you clearly. I want to make sure I hear you clearly. Are you there? Your mic is on. I don't got you muted here. Shout out to everybody that's watching us also on Facebook. Those that are following us. They're on Facebook. In the Facebook group, we got over 85,000 members. We stay dropping real facts, real knowledge. We do this like no other, man. We do this like no other. So again, like I said, man, the real thing is, y'all, is that at the end of the day, the Miami Heat overachieved. I'm going to say it again. They overachieved. They should have not been in the NBA Finals. And matter of fact, if they would have lost to Boston, I think y'all would have said they choked less. Which, if that's the case, then they shouldn't even have been in the finals. Let's just say they would have lost to Boston, because Boston was supposed to beat them. The Heat didn't really play that well against Boston that year. I think Boston did beat them more games that season. If I remember, Boston was our nemesis. I hated Boston, and I still hate them to this day because of those years, even before LeBron James joined us, because they beat us when we had just Dwayne Wade. I hated Boston. They had a bunch of shit talkers, and they still talking shit to this day. So, again, y'all make sure to let Yosemite Slam know how much of a white supremacist he is, and he'll never achieve it. Nothing as great as Brandon and I in his life, and he has the complexion for the protection, and he still can't achieve nothing in life. Imagine that. This is GOAT James Kingdom. That's right, y'all. We are the GOAT James Kingdom platform, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all hit that like button. Y'all hit that subscribe button. I really can't believe nobody wants to step up here and have a conversation. Here goes another guy that likes to stay in the comments but never wants to talk about it. He said, Jason Terry lit who up? I just told you, Chalmers and them. I just told you that. Dwayne Wade and LeBron James couldn't stick those guys. LeBron James had to worry about Sean Marion. He had to worry about the Sean Stevensons. They had to worry about all the other players because Dallas had a full set of complement of players. The Heat didn't have backup players. They didn't have nobody to back up Dwayne Wade. They had nobody to back up LeBron James. They had nobody to back up Chris Bosh. Now, they eventually got Udonis Haslem for the playoffs, but who was their guard? What guard? When you took Dwayne Wade off the floor, what other guard were you bringing up? What other guard? What up, Travis?
Yo, man. I was like, nobody's calling in. I might as well.
Yeah, I mean, they are cowards, man. Like, they don't even want... Like, this is the opportunity to really come at the Exposer. Really do. I have nothing but Miami Heat fan talk. But they know they can't say that. They're going to sound stupid. They know they're going to sound stupid because all they're going to say is a GOAT's not supposed to this. A GOAT's not supposed to that. Da-da-da-da-da. LeBron choked. He only scored 18 points per game. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Jason Terry. JJ Barrera. Tell me how that Heat roster was a championship roster, Travis. I would love for anybody to tell me that.
Well, I mean, I have a lot of like whenever I hated LeBron at that time, and like when he joined the Heat, I was like, you know what? Probably like the rest of the. I was like, you know what? I'm anti, but whatever. Like now, I can appreciate for what it was. Like a lot of things you're saying are right. Like it was like an experiment. You know, it's like not something we saw every day. They really had to construct that roster on the fly with a lot of just journeyman role players. What I will say though, and is it's tough because you knew those guys, the big three, were going to be taking the vast majority of the shots, and that happened. There wasn't going to be a lot or a ton of meat on the
Mm-hmm.
bone for the other guys. And I mean, when we look at the roster, yeah, definitely not a lot of household names there, but I'd say you got like 5, 6 down the line, 7. You got people who were making the best of it, things like that. And that kind of carried through to the playoffs, where I think the big three were gelling. They were really hard to stop especially when they were on the court. That's what kind of carried them through the playoffs. I don't think that they should have been no overwhelming favorites to win. I think that was the Kobe Lakers, obviously, like we talked about. And yeah, I'd say that the Lakers are the ones who like folded big time. Got swept. I mean, that was tough. I was a huge Lakers fan there, and I was just like,
No, it was a
how? I'm
good.
like,
Again, people sleep on how good Dallas was. People
yeah,
forget Dallas was a good team for a long time. They were known as
hmm
chokers, though. The Dirk
yeah,
was just known as a choker. That's
yeah,
all it was. All it took was for Dirk Nowitzki to find his niche and them to find a good roster. They had a good coaching staff, a good coach,
hmm
and they built a good team. Those
yeah,
guys they added helped him. They needed those guys, so they had a really good team.
yeah.
I'm
Dallas, I think, was an example
yeah,
of.
Aaron, you are in the backstage. I'm gonna bring you up. I got Mac Def, and then I'll bring you up. So
Oh,
now
for sure.
now y'all want to join when Travis show up, right? Because y'all know Travis is smart enough to explain his take and articulate himself very well and have a conversation with me. So, but go ahead, Travis. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, last thing I'll say is like I think Dallas was one of the perfect examples of. They always say like the hottest team wins, or typically carries that through. And Dallas, I think, gelled, and they weren't being taken seriously. For They were the 6th seed. They were struggling against Portland that first round,
Mm-hmm.
and then once they kicked into the high gear, you saw all those role players and people really stepped up. Terry elevated his game. You had their defenders, Marion and all that, and Chandler. They were just stepping up, and they just gelled at the right time. So what we see all the time, like the NFL, especially things like that,
Mm-hmm.
where it's just single time elimination. But I don't think it was like the biggest upset in sports history. But I just think there's a lot of context to every situation.
Yeah. Now that you say that, they actually had 22 different starting lineups that season.
Yeah,
Legit. So they were again they were shuffling players in and out because again they had some players on their roster that they were trying out. I forgot. I believe Peja got hurt. They had Peja Stojakovic. He was playing early in the playoffs. He was playing early in the season. He got hurt. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They had a team and they but again they still had a more filled out roster than the Miami Heat.
yeah. I was like, if they would have
They
lost the year after, that would have been a different story. When they had
yeah.
like Battier and everyone else there, like
I mean,
it
they
would have
had even.
been
I, mean,
tough.
I forgot
Yeah,
about it. They had Karan Butler. Like they had
Butler.
a. Yeah,
Yeah,
they had a. Again, they had a solidified roster because so again, it wasn't just
38
Chandler.
year old Juwan Howard, the
Yeah,
goat.
yeah. I'm just saying, you have Chandler, Dirk, and Terry. Those are your main three guys.
Hmm
Those are the main big three guys, and then you fill it in with players like Jason Kidd, Deshaun Stevenson, Karan Butler, Peja Stojakovic, Jason Kidd. You see what I'm saying?
I
JJ
forgot Pager
Barrera.
was there. Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
JJ Barrera. So again, they had a good roster. JJ Barrera. I mean, not JJ Barrera. Pager was playing versus the Lakers. He didn't play versus the Heat, but he was there for the Lakers series. So
took
he
him
was.
out.
They had a good team. Like they legitimately had a good roster, and they were during the regular season. They were trying to figure things out, injuries, things of that nature. But
Hmm
when they got to the playoffs, they only had two starting lineups the whole playoffs,
Facts.
and they only had one starting lineup the entire playoffs, which was basically Jason Kidd, Sean Marion, Deshaun Stevenson, Dirk Nowitzki, and Chandler. And then
hmm
there was a couple of times they put Jason Barrera in as a starter instead of Deshaun Stevenson.
He was underrated, if anything, wildly so.
I mean, he's a national hero in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I don't know what else to say. All right, so let me let these other folks up, man. Thanks,
Yes,
Travis,
sir.
man. I see you Sunday, sir.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Let me get Mac Def up in here. What up, Mac?
Yo, what's good? What's good?
Nothing much, man. I'm trying to get exposed tonight, man. What you got for me?
Um, I just think the excuses is is outrageous right now.
Yeah, it
Um,
is.
the LeBron James Miami Heat era, it's not a failure, but it's a massive underachievement for what everybody expected, whether it was fair or foul. What we expected of them, it's a major underachievement.
If I'd have told you the Heat were going to play 4 seasons together, because that would have been a disbelief. No one thought they were going to have 4 seasons together, right? When they first came together. So if I told you they were only going to play 4 seasons in 2010 when they all signed, I would say, well, listen, they're going to play these their contract. They're going to go to the finals 4 times and win 2 championships. You would have said that would have been an underachievement, underachievement, a failure.
Yeah, for what we were thinking when they got together. So the standard bare
Mm-hmm.
minimum was dynasty, and then we wondered and we
That is a
asked,
dynasty. Two
okay,
championships and 4 finals is a dynasty,
mm,
especially when you have back-to-back champions. Only
it's
nine other
it's
teams done that in NBA history.
it's not a dynasty.
So how do you win a dynasty? So you can't call the Spurs a dynasty. You can't call the Celtics a dynasty.
You
You
have
can't call
to a
you can't call
dynasty
none of
a
those teams.
dynasty a dynasty bare minimum is 3 championships in a certain time frame, 3 to 6 years, 3 and 7 years. That's pretty much a dynasty. The Spurs
So you
had
have to win
won
three
three.
championships.
Yeah, the Spurs won 3 and 5 years, '03, '05, and '07.
So it has to be 3 championships. So that's what you're
A
saying.
dynasty,
The
yes, a
Celtics didn't do
dynasty.
that. The Celtics didn't do that.
What Celtics team?
They won in 81 and then they won 84 and 86.
That's a
That's 7 years.
dynasty.
That's 7 years.
It's a six.
That's
It's
the
3 and 6 years.
so you give it so you're giving them 7. No, it's the 7 years. 86 makes the seventh year.
81, 82, 84, 85,
81,
86.
82,
That's
83, 84, 85,
the
86. Okay,
six
so that's
years,
six
sir.
years. So okay, so that's 6 years. So you're saying that
So
so that he only had 4 years to be together. They won 2 championships. 50% of the time they were together, they won a championship. That doesn't make them a dynasty. So not the Boston. So
the Bad Boy
the
Pistons are not a dynasty.
dynasty.
The
None of them not dynasties.
Hakeem Olajuwon back to back is not a dynasty. Kobe's and Pau Gasol back to back, and they went to 3 finals in a row. That's not a dynasty.
Okay, all right, you can say that. I'm not gonna argue with you there. All right, if you're saying that.
But that was that's what. But the thing is, whether it's fair or foul, that was sort of bare minimum. But we still expect from them to be one of the greatest teams of all time. Like we expected them to be in that '96 Jordan Bulls or '87 Lakers, '86 Celtics talk as well. Like we
So
expected to
none,
put
so none of those teams, so none of those teams the
no.
Miami Heat can beat. So all those teams are better than the Heat.
Yes,
All right,
based on what
so
the
why
what
you put so much expectation on them then? Why were
because
they
that was
supposed
the
to do?
expectation.
Why were they supposed to do what those teams did if those teams were better?
Those because the Miami Heat had the talent to do it and
No,
the
no, they
conference
didn't.
to
You just
dominate
said
it.
they didn't. You said no, they did. You just said they didn't. They were not as good as the '80s Lakers. They were not as good as the '90s Bulls. Those teams won
Yes, but
three championships.
they
They
had
won
the
three
talent.
championships.
They had the talent, sir, but they just didn't get it done. That's why it's an underachievement.
Talent? How? They only played 4 years together. Those other teams played longer than 4 years together.
The talent, the roster that the Miami Heat had
Mm-hmm.
was good enough to either be a
Did
dynasty
it take the
or
Bulls
a
longer than
top 10
four
team all
years? Did
time.
it take the Bulls longer than 4 years to win 3 championships?
Yes.
Did it take the Lakers more than 4 years to win 3 championships?
Yes.
So why did the Miami Heat have to win 3 championships within 4 years?
Because Shaq and Kobe three-peated.
It took
Like
Kobe and
the
Shaq 6 years. It took
The
Kobe and
Warriors won
Shaq
3 and 4
six
years.
years to win 3 championships.
The expectations of the Heat, like I said, whether it's fair or foul,
Don't give me the expectation. The expectation is
those were the
based off of
expectations.
they wasn't supposed to win the championship. The
Because hold
expectation
on,
wasn't
the
championship.
Lakers, the Bulls didn't have the roster to begin with to
Yes, they
win in
did.
4 years to
They
win
had the same
championships.
roster in
No, they did.
1990 as they did in 1991. They had the same roster in
So you're
1989
comparing.
and
So
as
you're
in they did
comparing a.
1991.
So you're comparing a rookie Scotty. You're getting off track. You
Scottie
just
Pippen's
the
not a
fact of
rookie. Scottie Pippen's not a
the
rookie.
fact
In
of
1990, Scottie Pippen was not a rookie. He was a league. He was an
how
all-star in
long were they?
1990.
Correct. So if you're
Mhm.
going from 90 to 93 in a 4-year span, they won 3 championships.
I
If
said
you're going off
89 as
that
well,
year.
and 89 as well.
Correct. So when you go to 89, now
Hmm.
what I'm basically saying, you don't have the roster because you're expecting a second year Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant to be a Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. They're not even Udonis
No,
Haslam at this
because
point.
you also have a Bill Cartwright who used to average 17 and 9 in New
A
York.
Bill Cartwright.
Yes.
Say the name again. Say the name one
See,
more
look,
time, and then
Mac, listen to what I
Bill
just told
Cartwright.
you. Bill Cartwright was averaging 17 and 9 coming out of New York. He was a solidified NBA player when he joined the Chicago Bulls. He got traded for a
Correct.
young Charles Oakley, who was supposedly the guy that Jordan wanted to keep, but he was better than Charles Oakley. He helped them win 3 championships. He was on the roster since 1989. Michael Jordan
Yeah, I
had
know.
Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, John Paxson, Cartwright, the starting five, 1989. He didn't win a
And they
championship. It took him
and they
5 years.
and they
It took him
three-peated.
5 years to win 3 championships. Okay, you said the three-peater. I heard you. It took him 5 years to win 3 championships.
And
That
that
roster.
roster's not better than the Miami Heat roster.
You said
Is
it
what we're is
was.
what we're saying.
You said
No,
it
no, I
was.
did not.
Yes,
The
you
Miami
did.
Heat roster, no, the Miami Heat roster for the LeBron James era, that Miami Heat roster is one of the best rosters all time. This
Not in
because, but
2011. Not in 2011. That's what we're
so you
talking.
have
2011. They did not have a championship roster.
that is a championship roster. What are
No,
you
it's
talking
not.
about?
Look at it. Where you see a championship roster at? Because of LeBron James, Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. That's it.
James, and Bosh, and the rest of the role players.
And that's why you
Udonis
don't know.
Haslam is a
And that's why
champion.
the Adonis Haslam was a rookie when they won a championship. Or he was a
Is he a
second year
champ?
player.
Is he okay? In 2011, he's not a
Uh huh.
rookie no more. He's a veteran. That's a champion.
Udonis played
Didn't
13
Arroyo?
games. He played 13 games in 2011. Arroyo played
Why?
40 something game in 2011.
Correct.
Again,
And
you
Arroyo's a
keep you
veteran.
keep
You had a veteran. You had a
Arroyo
veteran
averaged
locker room, bro, with
5.6
three
points per
franchise
game.
players.
And that's what I told you about Bill Cartwright, and you said Bill Cartwright. You mentioned you said Carlos Arroyo and Udonis Haslam. Udonis Haslam barely starts in his NBA career.
Yes, as role players, but
Role players to do what?
they're not
What is their
starters.
role?
You
What is
took
their role? What is Udonis Haslam's role?
to come off the first of all to come off the bench and add rebounding and defense, and then also be a significant character in the locker room. Mike
What
Bibby
defense
is
does
a
he plays?
veteran.
What
Mike Bibby
defense?
is a veteran.
What defense does Udonis Haslam play?
All right, we can move on.
Does he get
This is just
blocks? Does he
this is
get
just
rebounds?
excuses, bro.
This is not excuses. You're making up shit. You're telling me Udonis Haslam and Carlos Arroyo make the Heat a championship team, but when I gave you the Bulls
I'm
roster in
already
1989, which means Scottie Pippen was better than Arroyo, Horace Grant was better than Arroyo, John Paxson was better than Arroyo,
and they were starters, and they were starters. Arroyo Arroyo is your ninth.
Arroyo is a starter in 2011, Mac. He is the
Mike
starter.
Bibby. Mike
No,
Bibby was the
Mike
starter.
Bibby came later on that season, and Mike Bibby became the starter in the playoffs. But that
Mario
regular
and
season,
you had Mario Chalmers. He was
Chalmers
behind
did
both
not
of them.
start more than Arroyo did. Arroyo started more games, played more minutes than Chalmers did.
Did Arroyo start in the playoffs? Yes or no? No.
We're talking about the whole season, though. We're talking about the whole season. We're talking about the whole season.
Okay, so you had a starter that then came off the. So you had a starter for the whole season that then came off the bench.
Mac, did they start the season in the playoffs?
No.
Okay, then. So we're talking about the team roster. When the team was assembled in August of 2010, they didn't have Mike Bibby. So there is no championship roster because you added Mike Bibby to it. Mike Bibby does not make the Heat a championship roster.
So let me just get this straight so I can leave. When the team first assembled, because it's not even about 2011 to me. I know we're talking about 2011. You underachieved by not being a dynasty and an all-time great team. But speaking on just 2011, before they played a game, what was your expectation of your Miami Heat?
Oh, I didn't think we was going to win a championship that year. I said it was going to be the next year because I told everybody the same thing I'm telling everybody now. They're not going to have enough players to fill the roster up. They're going to fill the players.
You didn't think they were champion. You didn't think they could win a championship.
It was no. The roster that existed in 2011 was not going to be there in 2012. That was what I knew. That majority of those guys that they signed. Yes, I listen. I'm from Miami. We talked about it with my friends all the time. We all knew that. We all said it. We was like, yo, that roster in 2011 was not going to be the same team. They were going to get more players because they were going to free up more cap space. They were going to have more cap space coming into the next season. So they were going to be able to go get players like a Shane Battier. Okay. They were able to add more to the roster. That's what they did. It was going to take a time. Nobody was supposed to win a championship their first year. Nobody.
I know the 08 Celtics Boston wasn't supposed to win. So if you think that the Miami Heat roster was bad and they weren't going to win a championship, then I have no quarrels with you. If you think your team wasn't good enough to win in 2011 with 3 franchise players, I didn't say they wasn't.
I didn't say they were not good enough to win. I said they were not a championship roster. Obviously, they played good enough to make the finals. The Lakers were good enough to win. They didn't win it.
Okay.
The OKC were good enough to win. They didn't win it. The Chicago Bulls were good enough to win it. They didn't win it. Come on, Matt. You have a good evening.
I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. We know we weren't.
You had
all right. That's all. That's all I got.
62 wins, and y'all didn't do shit but get beat by the Heat. You have now been exposed by the exposer. All right, Aaron. Let's hope that you're good and ready to go, man. This is what I was waiting for. This is what I wanted. This is what I need. What's good, man?
How you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling good because my team won 2 championships. I saw 2 parades. I know that much. Back-to-back championships on top of that. So I was completely happy with my Heat team. I was upset when LeBron left.
As a basketball fan, you honestly don't think, and I say that because if LeBron is the GOAT, whoever we talking about is the GOAT, he's the difference maker. At the end of all these games, these close games, if he even plays to his average in the regular season, we talking about a whole 2011 outcome. So he's not even doing that. So
that's
how? We average 17 points?
Again, it's not about averaging 17. It's not about him averaging 17 points. It's about the fact that the Heat were already up 3. They were going to be up 3-1 in the series. When the Miami Heat was losing Game 4, it wasn't because of LeBron James. They were losing Game 4 because Dwayne Wade didn't close out Game 4 when that was the game plan. It was LeBron James' job to facilitate because they had no one else to facilitate. The way Dallas played Miami, it forced LeBron James to be more of a facilitator than attack the basket. He couldn't find his lanes because he had to leave it open for Dwayne. There was limited space.
I think that's where we differ. That you make the excuses that we can't really prove. Like these are your theories on what's supposed to happen. But
that's not a theory. I can prove it.
Listen, all right. Well, whatever. I give you that point. So we don't even got to, extend it. But look, when you're that great, you do what you have to do. There is no, I got to do this for Dwayne Wade. When the money's on the line, LeBron is there to make the difference. You keep trying to make excuses for why he doesn't show up, and there's no excuse for not showing up when he gets you that close. You're looking for help from everybody else when he gets you there, and he's supposed to.
No, that was the job of playing with Dwayne Wade. Why would he join Dwayne Wade?
He had enough help, bro.
No, he didn't. Why would he join Dwayne Wade just to tell Dwayne Wade, I don't need you?
Wait, say that again. Why would he join?
Why would he join Dwayne Wade just to say, I don't need you?
I don't need you. It's not that I don't need you. He needs him. But LeBron, if he's who he is, he takes that reign. There is no I don't need you. I can still keep you. I can still use you.
He did take the reins.
I can still use you. You're just not me. You're not me. I'm him.
He did take the reins. He did exactly what his coach and his team wanted him to do. He's a team player. It worked. It was working. It was working until Dallas. Until Dallas figured out that the Heat had a defensive flaw, and there was no way the Heat never made the adjustment to stop Dallas. That was the difference. They went on those runs because the Miami Heat were on the floor with a certain roster that once that roster was on that floor, that lineup, Dallas knew what to do.
All right. So answer this. What is the reason for the 8 points? What is the reason for the shortcomings in the fourth? So these games are close. If he even remotely plays good in these fourth quarters, we're talking about a different thing. We're talking about a three-peat.
Listen, they went up early in the series by LeBron James not shooting in the fourth quarter because it was Dwayne Wade's job to finish the fourth quarter.
No.
That was
If
the
you're-
game plan.
If it's broke, don't fix it. If it's broke, don't fix it. Don't say
Exactly. It's broke. Exactly. It's broke. Don't fix it. We were winning
no.
series. He beat Boston because Dwayne Wade was going off.
We won because LeBron didn't shoot. Say we won because D Wade made shots, not because LeBron didn't do something.
No, I'm telling you that the Heat won even though LeBron James was not doing what you said that he had to do for them to win.
When you listen, when you're about to lose, you got to do different shit to win. If you're Johnny, if me, you on the same team.
But Aaron, you guys don't listen. That's what Spoelstra didn't do, nigga. He didn't change his game plan. He stayed with the same shit. This guy went on the TV show that the year after and exposed Skip Bayless by explaining him the Heat never adjusted. They never made the change.
That doesn't change the fact that he didn't show up in the fourth quarter offensively.
He was there. He was the ball facilitator. His job was to pass the ball, get the team into the offense. They missed shots.
That's where the Jordan fan, LeBron fans separate. If it's for the money, I don't want you to facilitate. I want you to get me the trophy.
Where was that on the money? Where was your money in 89? Where was your money in 90 in a game 7 when Jordan didn't do shit and got blown out in a game 7?
He lost.
Okay then, so that's what I'm saying.
I'm not discounting that. I'm talking about the biggest stage. I don't care about anything.
That is Jordan's biggest stage. Game 7, Eastern Conference Finals. He never got further in his career. He fucking choked. He went out there and blamed his fucking teammates and said it was Scottie Pippen that was the reason why they lost. LeBron didn't do that. He said, I could have played better. I should have played better. Never blamed his teammates.
Look,
your boy was blaming his teammates.
I'm not arguing that. You arguing with I'm not arguing that loss in the Eastern Conference Finals.
No, I'm showing you that's why he's not the GOAT. He's not the GOAT because of shit like that.
Right, because he lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, he's not the GOAT. Correct? That's what you said.
No, he lost in the biggest stage of his career at the point in time.
All right, so
like LeBron did. And 2011, his biggest stage was 2011 Finals, and he lost.
Look, in the next year is his biggest stage again, right? Because the year prior was his biggest stage, Eastern Conference Finals.
And LeBron did that.
Wait.
And what did LeBron do?
Listen, now the next year is the finals, right? Now you won. We in the finals now, right? Now it's the biggest. Now it's his biggest appearance for the first time, right?
Yes.
Now, same thing with LeBron. His biggest appearance in 07, right? That was as far as he ever got, right? That's fair?
You know, in 07,
07, right?
2011.
No, wait.
2011, because he won 2 games in 2011.
Stay with me, because I did what you did. I went back to 89 with you. Just go back to 07 with me. 07, the biggest stage he was ever on, right? He didn't do it, right? So now I say in 2011, I say, okay, he already got his feet wet with 2007. So now he goes into this with experience, knowing what he got to get done. But no, keep in mind, D Wade got one too. So now stay with me. We got 2 people with championship experience. One won and one didn't win. So now we get to 2011. It's your second time on the biggest stage. So you should be used to this by now. You fold on your second time on the biggest stage to the point you might say he played better in Cleveland than he did in Miami when he had less help.
And Jordan, again, choked in 89 and in 90 and played the same way in 1991 as he did in 91.
He lost.
He choked. They needed MJ to win one game for them. They were tied 3-3 in a game 7 versus the Detroit Pistons. The Chicago Bulls got blown out. The Chicago Bulls got blown out by 20 points.
Yes.
He got blown out in that game. Michael Jordan took 26 shots to give you 30 points.
Yes, and what did everyone else have? Look at the percentage.
Here you go. Okay. Oh, wait.
Meaning he didn't choke. He played well.
Aaron, he is the GOAT. This is his moment. This is his time. Fuck his teammates. Fuck Dwayne Wade. Fuck Pippen. This is your moment. Game 7. The biggest moment of your career. Your team needs 45 points, not 30. That's your average. Like you think LeBron needs to give his team 30 points and play better in the fourth quarter. Jordan needed a 45-point game for his team to win. He needed to be a better ball facilitator. He needed to be a better teammate. He wasn't. That's why they lost. Because Michael Jordan choked. He did not step up. Every other series and every other team that he played during that span, he was killing them for 40 points easily. 45 points easily. He couldn't do it against Detroit. They kept punking him. year in and year out. 3 years in a row. He had a better team than them in 88 and lost to them.
3 years
The
in
man-
a row, lost, right? Now look, I'm not disagreeing with you. You're just trying to be loud. I'm saying
No, I'm trying to have a conversation, but you're not listening because what you're doing is no, you're not agreeing.
Everybody, he lost 3 years in a row. Jordan lost 3 years in a row.
What you're not agreeing to is the fact that what you're trying to bring up is that LeBron had a team in 27 that wasn't the same team in 2011. Jordan had the same team for 3-4 years in a row, and he couldn't get his team over the hump. Look, again, that 2011 Heat team was a brand new team, brand new roster, all put together, just smashed up, just to see what happens.
Can I interject?
Go ahead.
You know who was a new team as well? The 95-96 Bulls. You know who was the only player from that team he played with in 93? Scottie Pippen. And you know what he did? He had the best record ever. Until the Warriors won 73 games, of course.
Jordan was on the 95 Bulls, played 17 games, played in the playoffs, and got beat by the Orlando Magic. The only difference between the 95 roster and 96 roster was adding Dennis Rodman for Will Perdue.
Again, 17 games. He came in last week. From last week into the playoffs, we're gonna say, hey, you played with that whole team. Let's be realistic now. We all sports heads in here. Let's not be crazy.
He went and added, again, it was the same team. Everybody had the same roles, and nothing changed. From 2011 to 2010, from 2011, everything changed. Everything LeBron James was doing in 2010 was not the same at 2011. Everything Jordan was doing in 95 was going to be the same thing in 96. It didn't change for Jordan. Jordan didn't have that change attitude. He didn't have that
That's the point. That's the point. That's the difference. That's the difference. I'm not going to change it. I know what gets me the trophy. Why am I going to change what gets me the money? Why am I going to change that?
Again, but that's why I went to Miami to go get the trophy. But it wasn't going to be the first year. Who said they was going to win the championship their first year?
Why not? Look,
because they couldn't fill up the roster.
You have a finals MVP, Ajani. You got a finals MVP, a two-time MVP that has gotten to the finals before and has went to the Eastern Conference Finals twice. And then you get a perennial all-star. How much more help do you need when you have this much talent in your front three and you have supposedly to go?
Because you don't have more talent than Boston. You don't have more talent than Chicago.
You beat them.
You don't have more talent. You don't have more. You don't.
We're not talking about nothing else but the two teams in the finals.
Listen, you don't have more talent than we don't have more talent than Dallas.
But you're still. No. Who? Dirk? Dirk is what? Dirk was not better than any of them in 2011. Maybe Chris Bosh, we said Dirk was better than.
The entire Dallas team was better than the entire Miami team. They had a better roster.
No, you're making excuses, bro. Caron Butler got hurt early on. He's one of the best players. They still made it happen. That's what stars do. They get it done. That's the difference, is all I'm saying.
What did Dirk Nowitzki do to get it done? What did he do special? What?
He made big shots when he needed to. Every big shot he made. Check the fourth quarter stats with him and LeBron.
Boom. But how did he get to the big shot? Because he has a team to help him get to that point.
No, because he gets the
Because guess what? When the Heat gave Dwayne Wade that moment and told him hit those big shots, Dwayne Wade was fucking bricking.
And what did LeBron do? I don't care about Dwayne Wade.
He passed. You just said, wait, Aaron, you just said this finals MVP, Aaron. So why are we throwing Dwayne Wade aside? That's what he's there to do. He's a part of the reason why we're winning. He's a part of the reason why you're winning. And I'm telling you, he's supposed to help win, and he didn't do it.
They only win if the man.
No, he said that because he realized he can't do it. That's when he realized it. He thought he could do it in June. Then he realized he couldn't. That's when he said, you know what? I'm going to have to step back. Because you know what? I can't do it. It's better LeBron does it.
We want to agree to disagree. I guess that's the difference. Jordan is not sacrificing anything for a chip. I'm not taking a step back. I know, just like you said in the documentary, I know what it takes to get here. Y'all don't. So I'm not reeling back nothing when I know what it takes to get this trophy. That's the difference between him and LeBron. Jordan is not going to take no short.
So why didn't Dwayne Wade do that in 2011 when LeBron said, go ahead, nigga, win it for me. Go ahead, nigga, win it.
I'm worried about the fourth quarter with LeBron. I don't know about
again. You just said what? You know what? Have a great day, sir. You just fucking said that Dwayne Wade told them, nigga, I know how to do this. I'm gonna do this, and I told you Dwayne Wade was supposed to do it. They set up for him to do it. He didn't fucking do it, and you got excuses for fucking Dwayne Wade. All because you know Dwayne Wade's not the GOAT, so you don't have that same fucking idea of what Dwayne Wade is. I got something special for you niggas every time y'all show up on my show with this bullshit. I was ready for today's show. I was fucking ready, bro. Bro,
shit is
that shit
funny.
don't make no sense. They can't talk basketball.
all.
They literally hold LeBron James to a standard that they hold no other player to, which shows you why LeBron is the fucking GOAT.
So hey Johnny, he's sitting here saying in crunch time, players show up and they show out. If that's the case, why did Jordan get his ass? Why did Jordan never beat Larry Bird in the 80s? Why did he get swept in the first round? Fuck getting to the conference finals. Why'd you get swept in the first round? You're the GOAT. You're supposed to step up. Fuck your teammates. You're supposed to do what you do, right? By his logic. By his logic,
but that don't
you
count.
don't need a team to win.
That don't count to them because you know what they're gonna tell you is, oh, what was his team doing? They're gonna bring that up every time when you ask them why the fuck Kobe couldn't win in 06. Why couldn't Kobe win in fucking 06?
Exactly.
05.
They're not using that same logic when it comes to LeBron James. Every team that has won a championship, don't care what era it's in, what year it's in, you know what they have? Good teammates around them, a good starting five, and good role players, and a good bench. Now, okay, we're looking at the roster right now. Once D-Wade, Bosh, and LeBron come out the gate, who's going to maintain a lead for them? Who's doing it? That's not an excuse. That's just real. Golden State, when their 5 sits down, they can extend the lead. The Spurs, when their starting 5 come out, they can extend the lead. Who was doing that for the Heat in 2011? Nobody. And again, he didn't understand simple fucking logic. D-Wade was supposed to be the scorer. LeBron James was supposed to be the facilitator. Dummy.
No, but to them, that means
so
no. But this is what Aaron and them are going to say in his little cronies. They're going to say, well, that can't make you the GOAT if you're sitting here depending on Dwayne Wade to win you a championship, when they're using Dwayne Wade being an MVP finalist, finals MVP, and winning a championship as the catalyst to why the Heat should win. It doesn't make sense for them to say the Heat should win because of LeBron, not because of Dwayne Wade. And then on top of that, say no, because Dwayne Wade is there. That's why LeBron should win. Like they make it sense. It don't make no sense. It just
said, not quote. You have a Finals MVP. Both of them been to the finals. One loss. But one did win and was Finals MVP. Why would you depend on the person who lost in the finals? Why wouldn't the person who won Finals MVP be the lead for the team? Even D-Wade said LeBron James needs to be the lead for the team.
No, I'm comparing.
So what is he talking about?
Oh wait, I'm comparing the 2011 Heat to the 1989 Bulls and the 1988 Bulls, and I'm bringing up the 2006 because I want y'all to start talking about why Kobe couldn't win when he didn't have a team. The point is that the 2011 Heat were not a team. Nobody who was on that roster was supposed to be on. Was going to end up on the roster the next year. They got rid of a lot of players. They had to create a new roster. They had to, and it wasn't going to happen in one off season. That's the point. You know what? We got a couple of people coming up. I'm gonna open up the link so we can have some more people get it. I'm gonna bring you back up, Aaron. We got Ishmael here. We got Jay here. Let's have a good conversation. I'm gonna let Ishmael go first. What you got for me, Ishmael?
Hey, Johnny. I think it's just a hard one to argue because it's the hype that was surrounding. Because I was a Heat fan at the time. I was really young. I was in high school at the time, and I was excited when LeBron James came to the Heat and everything. But the thing is, it was the hype that really made it seem like they underachieved because they were talking about not 7, not 6, not 8, stuff like that. But if you look on paper, it was not a complete team because they were facing a lot of injuries and they were waiving players. Like Carlos Arroyo, he was waived in the middle of the season. He didn't even play in the playoffs.
I don't know what happened to you there, Ishmael. You just broke in and out.
Hello?
Are you there? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ishmael.
Yeah, they
go
had
ahead.
several players, and then I think Mike Miller only played like 40 games or something like that. And so on paper, they didn't really look like a championship team. So from the beginning, I remember that Boston Celtics game. Yeah, the Miami Heat definitely lost. Rondo was doing pretty good. But I think that once they got to the finals, then it kind of make it seem like they did underachieve, because from then on in, it's just like, hey, they went all the way to the finals. They beat the Boston Celtics, who went to the finals last year. And so why not? And so it kind of it did make it seem like they underachieved. And then with the whole LeBron James thing, he didn't even score enough in order to impact the team to win. And with the 8 points thing, I mean, he did play terrible. And so I think it's kind of hard to argue that when it was a whole bunch of hype surrounding it, and then even though on paper they didn't look like a championship team, they weren't consistent. They were waiving players. They didn't know who to start. And yet they did have Joel Anthony, who was only 6'9" as a center. That didn't look like the best team, but they did have two superstars, and Chris Bosh, the franchise player for the Toronto Raptors. I don't know. I'm just saying it is a tough argument when you get all the way to the finals.
Listen, if Chris
Not
Bosh,
really a tough argument. I'm
hold on,
sorry.
hold on. If Chris Bosh was drafted in 1988, he ain't a franchise player. All right, Lou, I'll let you go ahead. Go ahead, sir. Speak on that, please. Go ahead, sir.
I'm sorry. I don't see where the argument is. Like, you're saying that they had two superstars, but the team was constructed. The expectations were for them to win right then and there.
It wasn't.
You can't tell me that you left a 60-plus win team with players of high caliber that you chose, and then you collude with two other people to go to somebody else's team.
Lou, your context is wrong. Your context is wrong. Your context is wrong. LeBron did not build the Cleveland roster, and LeBron James did not build the Heat roster.
No, you're right. LeBron didn't build that Cleveland roster. The GM
he
did. But LeBron had a choosing of the players he wanted. He wanted Antoine Jameson there. He was on the phone with Shaq when he wanted to come out there from Phoenix, because he saw that Shaq was a little bit mobile and Shaq was unhappy in Phoenix. And he brought them over there. And Shaq was doing
none
less
of those
points.
players over there.
Shaq was only a couple of years removed, 3 years removed from winning the championship with D Wade. And he came over there and he was still producing a little bit more. He was still averaging 15 and almost 8 or 9 with that team. And they got 60 wins with that. And you mean to tell me he didn't want to be patient enough to go ahead and wait to see? He decided to collude because they had to think about it for 2 years. He was like, yo, I'm not going to sign my contract. And he already started chirping and wanted to go ahead and meet with the other guys and then decided to team up.
Lou, you're spitting out lies. I'm going to tell you this right now. The Heat, the players did not collude. The players did not collude. Dwayne Wade said, wait a minute, Dwayne Wade said it. We all heard him say this. At the decision, he didn't even know what LeBron was going to say.
That's a lie. And they said that because they already had.
Lying now?
You're not going to cut me off, Lou. I let you speak, and I let you lie enough. Dwayne Wade, you can't call Dwayne Wade a liar. You motherfuckers don't know more than Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade said it himself. They didn't know if LeBron James was coming to Miami or not. He didn't make the decision and tell anybody till the decision. He didn't say, I'm going to any team. He talked to the Heat. He talked to Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and them about the idea of having that free agency, because at that time, they were going to have a lockout. So he told them, make sure you leave a player option open for 2011 so that you can get the max dollars before the new lockout and new CBA deal comes into play. Because they didn't know what was going to happen. They knew a lockout was going to come. You guys don't know basketball. You guys create narratives and false lies. So again, I'm going to ask you, name me the team that came together their first year and was supposed to win a championship, Lou.
Magic Johnson's first rookie year.
No, there was not.
They knew they were going to win.
They were going to win.
They were not championship contenders, and no one thought that they were going to be champions that year. That
you
was
asked
a miracle
for an answer.
season.
I gave you an answer.
No,
and
that's not an answer. I'm saying no.
Shit.
That's
Wait,
a lie.
come on,
That's a
don't
lie.
be mad. Don't
That's
be
a
mad.
lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Let me finish, because you just said something. They came together. They had a rookie that was unproven who was teaming with a Hall of Famer. He went ahead and took over and took that team to the finals, and he won a chip. And then on top of that,
So they knew they were going to win that chip.
No, lies, Lou. Magic was not the leader of that team.
Right. What are you talking about?
Like, y'all just be making up stuff. You add Magic Johnson, the #1 overall pick, to a team that's already assembled. It's not the same as building a roster. The first time putting a team together and saying win a championship. Y'all,
Okay, so
y'all.
you're talking.
No.
You're
I
talking
got.
about-
Hold on, wait. We're gonna let these guys go. I want them to get their chance to speak because I just don't. The lies has to stop. The lies have to stop. That's why the Exposer's here for. You guys have to stop lying. Accept it. No one said Jordan was gonna win a championship because he joined the Chicago Bulls.
No one expected
He was a
Jordan to win
rookie.
championship.
Yeah, as a rookie.
And no one expected the Heat to win a championship in 2011.
Yes, they
but
did.
His,
Come
but
on, man.
his
Don't
haters.
That's
do
you
that.
saying that. Now you being. That's
2K,
not even
even
right.
2K had them the year prior when they made the announcement, had an uploaded roster of them projected to win. And they made that roster online and they were automatically winning. They had simulated it before they even were constructed.
Did
and
you
then the
just
very
say
next
2K?
year,
Did you just say 2K, y'all?
I'm giving you an example. I'm giving you an example of it. That's how far they were expected to win. If a video game is up there saying the exact same thing that everyone else, announcers, TV, everyone was saying the exact same thing. If you take 3 people, 3 franchise players, and put them all together, they're expected to win. Jeff Van Gundy was even praising the fact that they might beat the Bulls record that year.
Lou,
And it's been shown on TV.
Lou, eventually they're expected to win, but they're not expected to
No,
win
they
their
were.
first year.
You can literally go back and go watch clips and see how many times all over ESPN they were saying they were expected to win. Everyone had them win.
The first game of the season, they got
Everybody
blown. Listen, no, they didn't. You guys are lying. The first game of the season, they got blown out by Boston, and Boston themselves was saying that they were the favorites. That's how Rose won the MVP because Chicago was actually better than Miami. Miami started out struggling that season. They were struggling.
And they were shocked that they were
Legitimately.
struggling because they were expected to win that season.
No, they were not.
No, they weren't.
They were not. Aaron, you're back on the spot. Go ahead, Aaron, because since you said you was cooking, I want to hear what you was cooking because I don't smell no bacon. Let's go.
Because I don't eat no swine, brother. But what's it called? You comparing, and I think it was Twin Man that said something about that. Why did he get swept by the Celtics? You ever notice nobody uses LeBron not making the playoffs his first 2 years because we know it's hard as hell in the NBA to even get there, so we don't actually put that on him?
I don't want to hear that. Answer my question. Jordan came in there cooking. I'm using your own logic against you. You sat here and said that superstars, the GOAT steps up.
Yes, dude, listen.
It's supposed to be the GOAT. He's scoring all these points.
You're putting the GOAT. Listen, you're putting the GOAT title. Listen,
he was winning nothing. So according to you, Jordan choked.
I'm telling you,
Jordan was considered the GOAT after 88.
You're telling me what I mean. I'm going to tell you what I mean. You using a second year Jordan, and you using that as his GOAT case. When we talk GOAT, we talk
and
about.
And you're using a 22-year-old LeBron.
Wait. I'm not done. When you using his second year to put him as the GOAT when he wasn't that his second year. Just like LeBron wasn't the GOAT his first or second year. That's why we didn't expect him to do much.
You're saying Jordan's the GOAT.
No, wait. Hold on, wait. Aaron, when was LeBron considered the GOAT?
I'm saying overall, whenever the conversation started at any point, it could have been 2001, it could have been 2012, could have been 2020. Whenever it was considered, we don't sit here and say his second year defined him as the GOAT. It's a part of his story, but that second year, we don't say, well, LeBron didn't make the playoffs first 2 years. He sucks. Nobody brings that up because we all know it's hard.
Jordan was considered the GOAT after 88.
It wasn't okay. Even if you say that, and I don't agree, it's still not 86 when he got swept. He was a second year player who broke his foot his second year.
I guess your logic flew over your head.
No,
you sat here and said, hold up.
You
sat here and said LeBron should have stepped up in the playoffs in the fourth quarter and took them over the hump. Did you not say that, sir?
Yes.
You said that. So my point to you is when Jordan was putting up all these monster numbers, it doesn't matter what year it was. Why couldn't he get past the Celtics? Why couldn't he get out the first round? Why didn't he do shit without Scottie Pippen?
Dude, He lost with Scottie Pippen too. Stop it.
Why didn't he do? What was his record before Scottie got there?
That's very casual.
What do you mean I'm being a casual? What was his record before Scottie got there?
What do you mean? What record? His playoff record? His overall record?
His playoff record.
I don't know. I don't keep the shit in my back pocket.
Okay, so if you don't know, don't call me a casual. He was 1-9, bro. He sucked. And you know what he would do in the playoffs? Put up monster numbers and get ran the fuck out. But somehow, some way, you want to hold somebody else to a different standard.
You just talking loud. No, we're not. Listen what I'm saying. You're moving the goalpost.
You're holding him to a different standard than Jordan.
You talking loud. You just talking loud. When Scottie got there, did they not lose? Did they lose when Scottie got there as a rookie? Did they lose?
Yes, because of Michael. Because of Michael.
Show me the stats.
All I'm saying, hey Johnny, I do think
I'm gonna tell you what. Oh wait, I'm gonna give you the stats. I'm gonna give you the stats. And between 1986 and 1990, every series that Michael Jordan played in outside against Detroit, he averaged 40 points per game, shooting 54% from the field.
Wait, say the points. My bad. Say the points again. My bad. I can hear you.
Every series he played outside of Detroit between 1986 and 1990, which is like 9 playoff series, he has all those series he averages 40 points per game. He has like 2 or 3 40-point series averages during that span.
Everybody except for Detroit. You said everybody except for Detroit, right?
Except for Detroit. When he goes up against Detroit, he drops down to only 30 points per game and under 50% shooting. He averages 27 shots per game when he doesn't play Detroit, and he averages like 23 shots per game when he does play against Detroit. So he takes less shots, which, like you said, he's supposed to be a dog. This way he's supposed to take his shots. He goes up against Detroit in 2 series where he was supposed to win those series and lose those series because he didn't finish out the series like you claim a GOAT is supposed to. And he had a team and a roster good enough to do it. And he didn't.
Can I respond to that?
Go ahead.
You know what I'm going to agree with? He fucking lost. I'm going to say it 5 more times. He lost in 86. He lost in 87. Okay. He lost in 88. Yes. He lost in 89. He lost in 90. I'm not negating that. Just like your channel, when you first started your channel, you built your shit up. I would never sit here and say as soon as you jump on a new platform, Ajani, your shit is whack. Yeah, you got to build it up. So I'm not knocking that. Just like I don't knock LeBron for not making the playoffs his first 2 years. Stay with me. Again, but what we're saying is once he got to that title, that finals, once he got his first taste of that, he never looked back. So when we say the 2011 finals, the only comparison I'm saying is that this was LeBron's second time there. So people expected him to get to that next step and win it because we said, okay, in 2007, he didn't have enough help. We could all say that, right? For whatever case, I think he still could have got it done, but argument's sake, he needed more help, right?
Now he got it done on 2007 against the Spurs, man. Are you serious?
No. Listen. I say that because there were close games. Some of them games were 1-possession games, and I think if you're a superstar, you could just win that. But he lost, so neither here nor there. I'm not even playing.
That's where you're going to get pushback from me every single time.
Because you're not
holding Jordan to that standard.
He shouldn't have won.
Let him finish, man.
He shouldn't have won. He shouldn't have won. So we don't argue about it. He should not have won, right? We'll leave it there. So we say he shouldn't have won because he didn't have enough talent. But now he goes somewhere where he has enough talent and enough experience at this point. To where, okay, if Dwayne Wade could get me to third base, I'm LeBron, I get us to home plate. That's what we're saying, that he had enough to get you to home plate when he got with that team. Even if you say he didn't have that help in the prior years, 09, 010, I won't even argue with you for argument's sake. But he had that help in 11, that he was a difference to get him over home plate. That's all we're saying. That 2011.
He didn't have the help in 2011, Aaron.
Hold on. I'm almost done. I'll let you go because I'm almost done because the word's gone. He had 0 in game 4, 2 in game 5, and I got to check game 6. If he just plays to his average, and again, it's nothing wrong with it. He's a fucking great player, but we can't act like this didn't happen just because people are fans of him.
Bro,
go ahead. I rest.
So you're going to overlook what I said before you came up here. I sat here and said every great team has great role players, usually has a great bench. I pointed out literally how if Golden State starting 5 comes out, they have role players who can come in and not only maintain a lead, but can extend the lead. Spurs did the same thing. Lakers did the same thing. Whatever championship team you want to point out does the same thing. The Heat didn't have that in 2011.
Listen, all right, this is why I got to explain this to you guys, all right? Again, if we go to game 3, After the Heat loses game 2 and they blow game 2, LeBron James had 2 points in the fourth quarter in game 3, and the Heat win that series. They win that game. He only took 3 shots. Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh took more shots than him. He passed the ball. He had 4 assists in the fourth quarter and 2 points. That's why, again, the Heat game plan was for Dwayne Wade to knock LeBron James in because LeBron James got them to third base. That's what you guys failed to realize. It was LeBron James coming to a new situation. It is not the same thing. You can't just say because Dwayne Wade won 5 years prior that now all of a sudden he has to win with Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade
hey, Johnny,
hold on, I'm not
Johnny,
done.
Okay, all right.
No, go ahead. I just want to hear what you have to say. Please make it quick.
How do you say that would you say the Boston Celtics are a better team than the Dallas Mavericks? How do they go and beat the Boston Celtics then? Because I would say the Boston Celtics do have a good bench, and they had a good starting 5, and they're like a deeper, more talented team and more experienced when it comes to like playoff experience. And so how do you say that? Because they beat the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, but then lose against the Dallas Mavericks.
Remember, Rondo got hurt. Y'all forget Rondo got hurt game 3 or 4 it was?
He didn't play the rest of the series, though?
Yeah, remember he broke his arm? They called Dwayne Wade for the dirty play?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's why we beat them. That's why we beat them too. The more shocking one was Chicago. But still, Dallas was really the best team that year when you really look at how good they were as a roster. Again, they got on a good stretch. They had a good roster. They had a good team. They beat the Spurs. I think it was the Spurs. They beat OKC for sure, and they beat the Lakers. They beat a bunch of good, and they beat the Heat. They had a good roster. They had a good team. Now, I'm not telling you that at that year, the real favorites were the Lakers. The Lakers really had the best roster across the board. The Lakers had the best team in 2011.
But that's the point I think he's making. That it's not always that.
Let me ask a question. Hey, Johnny, do you think if LeBron had averaged at least 23, 24 points a game along with the 7 rebounds, 7 assists, do you think that the Heat would win the finals, or do you think that they would still lose probably against the Dallas Mavericks?
They would have still lost because then Dwayne Wade wouldn't have had the games he had. One of them had to go
that's
off.
interesting.
The whole point was that's what LeBron James was talking about, how Spoelstra went and talked to Chip Kelly about finding out about the spread offense and how he can implement that kind of concept in basketball. And what he stated was, hold on. He said Chris Bosh had to move to the 5, which means they got rid of those guys that couldn't be in that was sitting there clogging up the paint. They got rid of those guys. So they put Chris Bosh at the 5 in those moments. And what he also stated was that year, that off season, when they were in training camp, when they were doing breaks and practicing breaks, the big men were not allowed to run in the slot lanes, which are the swing part of the floor, which were specifically made for LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Because you had 2 slashers, 2 ball-dominant guys that if you got them going downhill, they were unstoppable. So you wanted that space for them. So that's how they changed it up. They didn't have that ability in 2011 because they didn't have the roster. They didn't have the team to do it. So in 2011, Dwayne Wade or LeBron had to have that one lane because it was a clogged lane. They didn't have both lanes. So that's why they were going 50-50. They even said it. We should do 50-50. It's your turn to take a shot, my turn to take a shot. And when they got to the finals, though, they realized the only ball facilitator, which is the best ball facilitator, is LeBron. Chalmers wasn't getting them into their offense. Arroyo, Bibby, and them were not getting them into their offense. So to get your best offense, you had to use LeBron James as a ball facilitator. That's why Dwayne Wade went off throughout the whole finals. But he didn't close out. That's what happened. That's where we choked in game 2 and game 4. That was the problem. And we choked because of those fourth quarters.
At what point where Mr. I have the high IQ decided to think, okay, maybe I should go ahead and start changing the way I'm playing the game so that way I can help facilitate the people better? Because no showing in the fourth quarters and 4 straight games shows that your mind wasn't even there anymore. You deferred, but you're supposed to be the quote unquote leader or de facto leader of the team, but yet you didn't have the mindset or IQ to say, hey, you know what? Let me pull you over to the left so that way I can kick and drive, or kick, swing, and then drive, or let D Wade come pull up, swing to the left, and I can kick and drive. Like, I don't understand that logic because
Lou,
at the end
here's
of
the
the
thing.
day,
Hold
at
on,
the
let
end
him
of the day,
finish.
D
Let him
Wade,
finish.
D-
I got it. I got this, guys. Let's go ahead. Let him finish.
at the end of the day, D Wade went ahead and started taking over. I don't get it, but yet they all got together. You had already had that playoff experience. You already had the finals experience. You had the finals experience already. You can't use that and say, oh, the no show again. And you had D Wade, who already was a finals MVP. He had to take over because you didn't want you goose egg. You fell apart.
No. Oh my God. Again, listen to what I'm telling you. The Miami Heat wins game 1. LeBron James only has 2 points. I'm sorry, he scores 5 points in this one. Dwayne Wade scores 7. Dwayne Wade takes 4 shots. LeBron James takes 4 shots. This is game 1. They win this game. LeBron James is playing the whole entire fourth quarter. The Heat win this game. Dwayne Wade goes off in this game as well. Okay? They win this game with LeBron James doing what you said that he should not be doing. Because that was the game plan. It was working. It was working. They go into game 2. The same scenario. The Heat are up in the fourth quarter. They choked the fourth quarter because the team was going to Dwayne Wade because he can't. LeBron James can't set up the offense by himself. They don't have shooters. They don't have space.
But he also couldn't play defense as well.
He did play defense as well, but again, he has to stick other players when you have to stick Shawn Marion. Who is sticking Shawn Marion if you're putting LeBron James on Jason Terry?
Look what you just said.
Ask my question. Answer my question. If you put LeBron James on Jason Terry, who will be guarding? Again. Sorry. So who's supposed to stick Jason Terry?
Well, who's Dwayne Wade guarding?
Who was D Wade guarding?
Okay, Dwayne
Jason
Wade's
Kidd. He was Jason Kidd. That's what you're saying, right? Because Chris Bosh was handing Dirk, and you're saying that he was.
I'm asking you a simple question. In the fourth quarter, the starting lineup was Jason Kidd, Jason Terry, Shawn Marion, Tyson Chandler, Dirk Nowitzki. Those are the guys that got the most.
You would slot LeBron over the DL Shawn Marion because at least that way your big would be roaming the paint.
Okay, so you agree that Shawn Marion's being guarded by LeBron James, so LeBron James has an assignment. So who was really killing the Miami Heat on the defensive side of the ball as far as how Dirk Nowitzki and them as far as Dallas? What were they doing on offense?
You mean Tyson Chandler?
No, it was Dirk Nowitzki. It was Terry. And if it wasn't Terry, it was Barrera. Those were the guys.
Jason Terry killed LeBron.
Okay. No, how is he killing LeBron and LeBron is guarding Shawn Marion? Again, if LeBron is guarding Shawn Marion, who is guarding Jason Terry?
LeBron wasn't guarding Shawn Marion. That wasn't his primary defender. He got switched a lot, but his primary defender.
Again, all right. If
Jason
LeBron
Terry.
James is not on Shawn Marion, who are you putting on Shawn Marion?
Dwayne Wade.
So you're telling me Dwayne Wade could keep Shawn Marion from doing his thing?
Yes.
Wow. So Dwayne Wade was scoring, and he was.
Come on, man. Don't
all right. Wait. No. You don't do this. So wait. So don't do this. Wait. No. Again, I let you guys speak. It's my turn to fucking speak. When I speak, you guys listen. You just said, why didn't LeBron James say this shit ain't working? Let's figure out some other shit. If Dwayne Wade was the better defender at the time, why didn't he switch around and say, you know what, Dwayne Wade, you're doing such a great job on Marion. You need to go to Jason Terry.
Can I raise my hand? Can I answer that?
Go ahead.
Because based on your logic, why would Dwayne Wade, the number one option and closer, have to guard the second best scorer on the Dallas Mavericks? That would waste even more energy. So if LeBron, if you're just gonna be a facilitator and go 1 for 4, 0 for 5 in the fourth quarter, then yes, play defense on a guy who's averaging more points than you right now, Jason Terry, and shut him down. But that didn't happen.
Okay, so granted, you're not going to put Dwayne Wade on Shawn Marion, correct? Because you need him for energy, correct? Is that what you're saying?
No, they did put Dwayne Wade on Shawn Marion.
No, he
because
didn't.
Shawn Marion
he wasn't. That's why y'all are liars. First of all, Dwayne Wade was guarding Jason Kidd for the same exact reasons you just said, Mac. Because he needed to rest on defense. So they put him on Jason Kidd. That's why Jason Terry went off, because you know who was sticking Jason Terry? Chalmers, Bibby, Mike Miller, James Jones. These, because again, you can't allow the best defensive rebounding small forward to get to the boards. You have to have LeBron James sticking Sean Marion, because Sean Marion could get to the boards. He'll dominate and get to the lobs easily. You already have to worry about Tyson Chandler getting lobs. You guys forget they have Jason Kidd as their point guard, who knows how to. Okay, so he gets them in there. He gets them in their offense, which Dwayne Wade was supposed to stop, and even Dwayne Wade admitted that he was supposed to play better defense versus Jason Kidd, and he didn't. Listen, I drop knowledge. I don't bring up fake shit. All this stuff is available to you. I will always prove everything I say. I don't just make up shit when I bring up here. This is what Friday night is for, to expose people like you who lying. You guys are, it's not fake stuff. You guys are saying Dwayne Wade was sticking Sean Marion, and he was not sticking Sean Marion.
That you brought up fake knowledge. We're just saying that this 2011 team underachieved. It underachieved.
They didn't. They were not supposed to win the NBA championship, which means they overachieved. They were not even supposed to be in the finals.
No, the Mavs overachieved by winning the championship.
They overachieved.
Because the Lakers underachieved. Because the Lakers underachieved. That was the team that underachieved. Both Miami and Dallas overachieved. You correct.
So, can one of y'all, maybe you can help me, one of y'all, what's the difference between choking and a bad game to y'all?
Whatever standards y'all threw out for choking.
I can tell you.
Again, Aaron, I will answer the question as simple as I just stated it. Whatever it is considered choking to y'all for LeBron James, I guarantee you we will find it for other players.
I choking is like
answer the question.
That is answering the question.
Choking is when you have a possession at the originally I thought at the last moment of the game and you screw it up. I never thought choking was if you play a bad game or a bad few games. No. If you play a bad game, you're off.
Choking is used by people who never played competition sports and don't understand that things happen in sports. It just happens.
Yeah, they do. That's true. But I thought like if you're supposed to take the last shot of the game or something like that, and then you end up having the ball bounce off your leg and it goes out of bounds or something like that. I never thought choking was if you play an entire game or something. You just have a bad game. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
You know.
If Vlade Divac doesn't tip the ball out because he doesn't want Shaq getting the rebound, or we don't get the 3-pointer and they don't win that year. Like it, like simple shit like that. You would say they choked because of that. No, that was just something that happened.
That's an error. That's a misuse of a rebound. You're correct.
No, that's not a misuse of a rebound. He's done that before. Plenty of people have tipped balls away from other from the defender getting the rebound. He just didn't expect. He just didn't know that Ori was back there to catch it. That was the difference.
Well, like I said, hey Johnny, I just think that it was just a lot of hype for the Miami Heat. I remember that a lot of people were talking about it, but if you look on paper, if you look at the roster, they were inconsistent. They were riddled with injuries. Yeah, like they didn't have a bench. They hardly had role players that were coming in, and so people just expected that the big three, I think, to win it all, regardless of the situations that they had and being their first year. I think that it's a hard argument. I think that they were just placed where they were. I don't think they overachieved or really if they underachieved. I just think that they lost and LeBron played a bad game, you know, or a bad series. And so
again, he admitted he could have played better.
He admitted that.
He admitted it. He said, I could have played better. I'm not telling you LeBron James played his best game. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that what he did was in line with the game strategy, with what the coaches thought what it was going to take to win that series. And the reason they thought that was because they were able to do it against Boston, against Chicago, who they thought were better competition. But Dallas was really better than all those teams because Dallas was a real team. Because even that Boston team that I'm talking about, as good as they were, they had added Shaq. They had added Rasheed Wallace. Right. Like they added players trying to make a run. Yeah, they added more players, and they were going through their own in and out too, because like Kevin Garnett said, they were a little bit older, so they were, they really were going through it themselves, but they still had a more complete team because again, they still had a starting five.
Did they have Big Baby Davis like Glenn Davis and stuff that year?
Yeah, I think they had that. But they still had a different roster than they had in 2008. Right.
But, okay.
You know what I'm saying? But then again, like I said, I don't know if Rasheed Wallace was on the 2010 team, but I know
I think he was.
The disconnect be, cousin. is that sometimes teams are better on paper, but we don't really go past, like most teams in the playoffs, right? They don't go past the 7th man. Let's go to the finals. Forget the regular playoffs because first round shit different than finals. We don't really get no further than the 7th, 8th man, if that. So when we say a team got a bench, we're not using all 10 or 12 players. So even though Boston had a better bench, so to say, or better team overall, that better team, because everybody is satisfactory, B pluses, they don't trump that better talent in Miami. That's why Miami beats those teams that are better. Because in the NBA, I think this is the only league where talent could trump a team. Maybe not in football, because those people can make differences on both ends. You get what I'm saying? LeBron is the one player, just like Kobe, just like Jordan. If LeBron says, I'm locking up, which we've seen, he makes the difference on both ends. He can lock you up, then bang on you. Same thing with Kobe. Same thing with Mike. These players do these. Pause. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, pause, bro. Whoa.
Y'all get the gist of what I'm saying, right? Y'all get my
gist.
We
get you.
That was just, I had to say it. I was waiting to say it. I
was going to say no Diddy, but I'm like, nah, I'm too old school to say that.
Yeah,
so
no Diddy. Okay. I'm gonna ask this. I'm gonna ask Lou this because Lou's on the top. Then Aaron's gonna answer this, and then Mac Def's gonna answer this. Do any one of you guys, start with you, Lou, do you guys think Boston, as of today, the Boston Celtics today, is this 2024 Boston Celtics is a championship team? Are they contenders? Should they be the one that win the NBA championships?
Should they?
Yes, this Boston team.
Are they going to? No.
Okay. So, but you think that you think that they should. So if they don't, they underachieved, correct?
Correct.
All right. And all right. So how about you, Aaron? You think Boston should win it? If they don't win it, they're going to underachieve this year?
If Jason Tatum don't play like a pussy, then they should win it.
but this is how you guys felt all season, not right now. This is you guys have felt like this all season, correct?
Yeah, all season. If Giannis don't play like a pussy, if all these stars don't play like pussies, then we gonna see them get what they're supposed to get. You get what I'm saying? And then we see them in the final.
Okay, all right. And Mac, what about you? Is Boston a championship team? If they don't win it, that means they underachieved this year from the beginning of the season?
At the beginning of the season, I had Milwaukee winning it, but I would say yes to with the roster and with who they have. Yeah, if they don't win after what they did in the regular season, then yes, it would be a failure.
And that shit Tatum's fault.
So Milwaukee's my team. All right, so Milwaukee's my team for you, and Boston is my team for you two, gentlemen. All right, so what you guys are telling me, the difference between the 2011 Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Milwaukee Bucks are actually a good one. And the Boston Celtics is LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, being that it can't even really be Dwayne Wade, because what did LeBron James prove at that point that said LeBron James is supposed to win a championship? Like Jason Tatum. Wouldn't he been considered the same thing as Jason Tatum?
He got there. Though this might be the same scenario. Jason Tatum got there a few years ago. He didn't have the help. He wasn't really seasoned, right? Now a couple years later, he got a defender now, Drew Holiday. His right hand man, Jaylen Brown, got his shit together. Or we gonna bring big KP from around the corner. He gonna put his shit on his shoulder. We got Al Horford that can take a couple blows for us. We got who else we got over? They got what's the white boy name from Oregon?
Kristaps Porzingis.
No, the point guard, white boy, 11. Pritchard. Yes. So now we saying, yo, JT, this is your time right now. You got a better squad with you. You got the missing piece that you may not have had any experience you didn't have back in 8. That was 18, Ajani. That was 18 when LeBron beat them.
Yeah, in 18.
That was 18. So now we say, yo, it's what, 6 years later? Come on now, Jason.
Wow.
You got your feet wet.
All right. So because the reason I say that, right? The only difference between Jason Tatum and I'm saying the only real reason is that obviously LeBron was a 2-time MVP at the time.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah.
He was considered one of the better players at the time. But the reason I asked you this, Mac, you said there's no difference. Milwaukee has championship experience. You said they're supposed
comparison.
to be. How? Giannis is an MVP, Finals MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and they just added Damian Lillard.
That's why they're not going to win.
So that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. So they're saying that you said you gave them the expectations to be champions, right? But you don't think they're going to win it. So they would have been considered underachieved. So they're supposed to have won a championship this year, first year team, correct?
No, I got the Milwaukee Bucks at the beginning of the season. So yeah, that is my team that I chose at the beginning of the season. If they don't win, then that's it. Yeah, then that's it. Then yeah, that's a failure. I was talking about the Boston.
Would that
Celtics.
be the same?
There's no comparison.
No, I'm just saying, because the difference between Boston Celtics, they don't
No,
have
it's not
obviously
the.
a
It's
league.
not the.
They don't have a league
it's not the
MVP
same.
like LeBron. They don't have a league MVP like LeBron. They don't have the experienced champion like Dwayne Wade, right? But
There's
the
no
Bucks
comparison to both teams.
the Bucks
The-
team.
the-
Yeah,
the-
see,
the
that's
reason
what I'm
that
saying.
there's no
For you to think
there's-
that the Milwaukee Bucks or the Boston Celtics roster is not better than the 2011 Heat roster, you guys don't know basketball.
There's no comparison because
That's
no
not-
team.
That's your opinion.
No.
There's no comparison.
Bro.
You can say what you want about the roster. The reason that there's no comparison is a couple of things. Number one, the Milwaukee Bucks and neither the Boston Celtics are pegged to be a dynasty, like an all-time great team. Those Miami
Again,
Heat were. Whether, like I keep saying, whether it's fair or foul.
Again, but why?
That was
It's okay. No. But you
and
can't
the reason
say whether
why-
it's fair or not. You can't say it's fair or foul. Why are you placing such a status
reason-
on that Miami Heat team and
and the
never
reason
no other
why-
team?
It's because of
and
the
the reason
storyline.
and the reason why.
Because of the caliber
No,
of
no,
players.
it's not.
No, let him answer. Let him answer, folks, please.
No, we've done that. We've done that to for a lot of teams. But the reason why with the 2011 Heat is because you had the best player on the planet. I think a lot of people will agree coming into that season. You had I would say top 5 player in Dwayne Wade. You had a top 15 All NBA player in Chris Bosh, franchise player.
False.
Came off of 24.
False. Mac, I'm not gonna let you lie, Mac. Stop it. I'm not gonna let you lie. Because Bosh was not top 15 All NBA player. He only made one All NBA his whole career. Wasn't even in 2010 or 9 or 8. Stop it. Stop
Yeah, it
it.
was
Stop
like
it. Stop it. Stop it. See, that's what I'm saying. But the Milwaukee Bucks are the same thing. Damian Lillard, All NBA player last year. Giannis is most people think is the best player in the league. Some people think he's better than Joker, even though Joker won the MVP. But Giannis won 2 back-to-back MVPs too, and Defensive Player of the Year. They have defensive studs like Brook Lopez, who makes all defensive teams. That's what I'm saying. You guys don't hold none of these teams to the standard that you're trying to hold LeBron James' 2011 Heat to just because of LeBron.
They don't have 2 top 5 players
That's it.
on the
Yeah,
court.
that's what we saying though, bro. It is because LeBron. He's the difference maker.
It's because of the storyline. It's the storyline,
Damian
John.
Lillard.
No,
Hold
it's
up,
not.
hold
No,
up,
it's
hold up.
not.
Hold up.
Yes,
Go
hold
ahead,
up.
True Man. Go
Hold
ahead,
up,
True Man. Go ahead, True Man. Go ahead,
The
True Man.
channel pops up.
Damian,
Here's the
this is
difference,
True
John.
Man. Go ahead, True Man. Go ahead, True
Hold
Man.
up. See, this is what's going over their head right now. Damian Lillard right now went to Milwaukee to be the difference maker. So how is it not the exact same storyline? Damian Lillard is in Milwaukee right now to be the difference maker.
No. I want to know why they're not a better team, because he went to a team that's already established. They didn't even have to build this team together. They traded for him. They already kept
I'm
their
gonna
main
be
pieces.
real. Milwaukee's not going to the finals because Dame's a defensive liability. So they're not going to the finals.
But we don't know that because
moment they
guess
gave
what?
Drew
Wait. They were saying the same shit about the Miami Heat in 2011.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they
That
were.
they weren't going to the finals?
Yes, in April. At this time in April and March, people were saying the Heat ain't going to get
Lord.
past. That is the facts. Y'all are revisionist historians. I was here. I lived it. They were saying the
is
Heat were not
sad.
going to win. Man, wait. They said the Heat were not going to beat Boston in 2012.
This
They
is
made a
sad.
wrong prediction. That happened.
That is true.
No, it wasn't a wrong prediction. People didn't think that because again, the Heat team was not really constructed well.
Right, and that's
That's
fair, bro.
not-
But if you get, that's what I'm saying.
wild.
If I don't expect your channel to pop, but it does, it still popped, regardless
No.
of what I thought. It still succeeded. So I'm
No.
still expecting you to succeed.
No, the
You
same
don't gotta
thing.
lose, but I think you gonna lose.
Listen, Twin Man brought up some great fact. As of right now, nobody thinks the Milwaukee Bucks will make the finals.
But hey,
That
Johnny,
was,
it's not.
at the beginning of the season. We thought that they were the head route.
They don't have the same expectations as the 2011
Hey,
Heat.
John,
Yes,
it's
they
not
do.
like-
Yes, they do.
Championship expectations is championship expectations.
They don't
bro.
add
It
Damian
doesn't
Lillard
matter
not to
what
win
year,
a championship. That's
Can I
what I'm
raise
saying.
my hand?
So wait,
Can I raise my
wait.
hand? Can I raise my hand real quick?
Let me say this.
My
Hold wait.
hand.
Let me say
Mine.
this. Let me say this, and I'm gonna let. I think that's Lou who asked to raise his hand. I think that's Lou because Mac and y'all been going for a while. Listen,
That's why I asked.
for y'all, yeah. For y'all to sit here and say that the Milwaukee Bucks traded for Damian Lillard are not expecting a championship their first year, but the Dwayne Wade Miami Heat team, who didn't even know who was going to be on the roster in November, was supposed to win a championship when they added the Heat, Big Three. That's what I'm saying. Y'all are being hypocrites, man. You guys are not holding people to the same standards. You guys are lying. The Heat themselves, Pat Riley didn't think they were going to win a championship that first year. Go ahead, Lou. Go ahead.
No, it wasn't me that said I need to put my hand up.
Oh, okay.
I'm raising my hand. Let me say something. The thing is that there is a difference between Damian Lillard and LeBron James. We're talking about LeBron James, 2-time MVP, who took. People say that he took bums to the finals. He took bums, okay? He took fringe all-stars like Mo Williams, had old Shaq and old Antoine Jameson, and so he had no help. And so the expectation was that even if you had bums on the NBA on the bench, or you had Joel Anthony, it didn't matter because he had extra help like Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, franchise players, another player that could have won an MVP or so. And so that he didn't accomplish that is a complete difference. LeBron James is not just a difference maker. He is the one that is considered to be the expectation was for him to win a ring. The expectation was for him to be a Hall of Famer. The expectation was to be in as a Mount Rushmore player. I don't know about the greatest of all time, but the expectation as he was playing in Cleveland, he is so great that he took players that, even Larry Bird said it, like players that weren't that good to be able to go to the finals, regardless if it was a weak East, or to be able to go that deep, to be able to be the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference is an accomplishment. And so when he got that help, that was the thing. Damian Lillard, like he never went to the he never went to the finals. Has he even went to the Western Conference finals?
But he's not. He's like Bosh. You added him like Bosh because they already had Giannis.
He's like a Bosh,
Giannis,
but he's not like LeBron though.
No, I'm saying Giannis is LeBron.
But Giannis is one though.
No, he's not, bro.
But all right.
Giannis,
I guess you can say that.
Giannis won 2 MVPs. He won a Defensive Player of the Year. He's all defensive first team, all NBA first team. That's what LeBron was doing in 2009, 2010. Like that's what you're saying. Like because LeBron wasn't taking his team. LeBron wasn't taking the Cavaliers nowhere. He lost in the second round in 2009, and I think he lost in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2010.
I think it was both. Yeah, Eastern Conference Finals both.
He lost to
one year wasn't.
I'm bugging.
1 year. Yeah, 1 year wasn't 1 year. That's what I'm saying. So the idea is this. No, the idea is that Milwaukee traded for Damian Lillard to win an NBA championship this NBA season. Not next year, not the year after. So they are expected to win the championship. The same expectations that y'all are putting on the Miami Heat in 2011.
Wait, I think that's word.
But y'all are surprised. But y'all are surprised that I said in March and April that people didn't think the Heat were going to go anywhere. When y'all also think the same thing about Milwaukee. When Milwaukee's actually a better team than the 2011 Heat.
I think we say Milwaukee is contenders. They're not. We don't think they should win. We know they're contenders.
The difference is that
like Sacramento.
There's more better teams in today's NBA. That's the difference. That's the whole point. There's a lot of teams are just better today. The NBA is harder today. That I would give you. It's a different NBA. It's a lot more better teams.
The NBA is not harder today, Mac Def.
I would say it's different, but not harder.
It's harder. There's a lot of talent on every team, bro. That's
not what I'm saying. No,
league is different, but not harder. League is different.
No, what I'm saying is
it's
that
harder because there's a lot of good teams. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of teams with a lot of good players on their rosters. There's a lot of role players that are really good players. They're just playing their role.
And that's why we say who's going to be that one guy that separates from everybody in the league.
Well, right now we all know everybody thinks Joker is the best player.
Get what I'm saying? I guess. And that's why
Joker already has a championship.
In 2011, we said LeBron got 2 MVPs. This the icing on the cake right here. He finally got some help.
Wait. Y'all are telling me that in 2010, the end of 2010, LeBron James was the best player in the NBA?
I heard Kobe.
He's the best or the second. He's the best or the second best.
He was MVP. No.
Yeah, people.
He was MVP. That's
the second best. Yep, I'm saying it.
Johnny, you're foul right now. This is wild.
He's either the best or the second best. It was like between him and Kobe. All right. It was just that because he didn't take a chance. He didn't reach that ring yet.
Hey Johnny, we don't even have to reach that far back. Hey Johnny, we don't even have to reach that far back. When the Lakers added Karl Malone and Gary Payton, were they supposed to win that year?
Yes.
Yes, they're expected to win the fourth. They were
they were
expected
supposed
to
to
win.
win that one.
Right.
That's the whole.
Now,
That's my whole point.
No,
They
no.
were-
Now, granted, that Laker team were supposed to win a championship. You're right. They were supposed to have expectations to win a championship. But I don't know. Again, I don't know if y'all consider them to be the best team. Were they really the best team that year? Did the Lakers have the best roster?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
They had the best roster.
You
Yeah.
literally added
Everything happened with Kobe, and then Karl Malone got hurt.
Just
That's
let me
what
say-
happened.
So, all right. So y'all are telling me the 2011 Heat that are equivalent to the 2004 Lakers.
No, I'm not saying that.
No,
I'm saying that the hype was that they were
that's what we
supposed
going
to
wrong.
win.
You're trying to compare them to everybody. And we're just talking about
No. I'm saying the hype was expected for them to win.
Wait,
Like,
try to flip
even
that.
though they didn't have the bench, they didn't have the depth in order to win the finals and be the complete championship team. But still,
Just
they were
excuse.
expected, since they went to the finals, they beat Boston. When they went through all those teams, they were expected to be win championships at that time.
This 2011
Bro,
Heat
everybody.
team, y'all are tripping. This 2011 Heat team is nowhere near the teams that
I'm not
we all
disagreeing
gonna
with
say
you,
are choking.
Ajani, about that.
Johnny, everybody has a championship expectation coming into the year. Every team does, even when you
Shit.
add free agents or trades. When everybody has a
Yeah, you
championship
being disingenuous right
expectation.
now. That's not true.
No,
But hold on. What I'm saying,
Detroit
but
does
to
not
the
have
standard,
championship
The Detroit
expectations.
Pistons this
Can
year
I-
to
let
win
me
the NBA
finish?
championship.
I'm not saying all 30. I'm not saying all 30 teams, but not all 30 teams don't have no expectations. What I'm saying, compared to with LeBron in Miami, when he went there, they had the same expectations as a '96 Bulls. It was like that nobody should beat this team.
You know
It
what it
had the
was?
same
I can tell y'all what it was. Let me do it. I actually have to go. We actually been having a great show. I really want to thank all you guys for showing up, even all you guys that are disagreeing with me. Listen to this. I think the real problem was this exact thing right here, this celebration. When the Miami Heat decided to take the three guys and have a fan celebration, and that got aired across the country, and people.
That's what I was saying.
That I think that really rubbed people the wrong way, because people were still confused. That's why Luke said what he said about how they colluded, because the questions was, how did the Heat acquire the three top players this offseason? Like, because again, it was the biggest offseason at that time in NBA history. It was big because y'all got to remember, but prior to that, the NBA didn't have too many off seasons where they had these type of players available. So you're talking about three big stars to max. You have two top 5 players available for any team to get. I mean, they could have went to any team they wanted to go to, and somehow Pat Riley pulled it off. And you guys know how they hate Pat Riley. Pat Riley's not only hated by the referees, he's hated by the league. So, and other teams hate Pat Riley. Dallas hates us. The Knicks hates us. A lot of teams hate Pat Riley. So when we did this celebration right here, people wanted to see the Heat fail. They thought that the Heat were going to win, because obviously we put the expectations on ourselves to be champions. But that roster that year wasn't really a championship roster. When they did this celebration, we didn't have an actual 12. Listen, it's not excuses. When we did this celebration, there was not a 12-man roster. There wasn't actually a Heat team.
Johnny, when he said, "I'm taking my talents to South Beach," it wasn't a question. It wasn't a question who was going to win the championship. The question is how many championships is they getting ready to reel off?
Exactly.
It wasn't going to be from the first year on out, bro. It wasn't going to be from the first year on out.
It wasn't a. Now
listen.
listen.
I'm gonna ask you this. There's only those three guys on the roster. How are you going to say that's a championship team in July?
Because
this is July.
At that time in 2011, you had the 3 best players on the East Coast from 3 respective teams pulled together to try to win one chip. You mean to tell me?
How is this roster? This roster is just 3 of them. It's just 3 of them.
You mean to tell me that nobody else, if this would have happened in the 80s and the 90s, and it's still happening now, when KD went to the Warriors, the expectations that they're going to win. As soon as he hopped on that team, they're going to win. Everyone said the exact same thing.
Those are different scenarios, Lou. Those are different scenarios. Lou, when Kevin Durant said, "I'm signing with the Warriors in July," you knew the roster. When LeBron James said, "I'm coming to Miami in 2010 offseason," these were the 3 guys on the roster. How are they a championship with this roster?
I think them three and all of us in the chat should win a championship if LeBron on the court. Shit,
I got six fouls.
Again, and that's why. And that's why all those other teams. That's why all those other teams said that the Heat weren't going to win because they understood that it took more than just.
Because them niggas want to win. They're not going to say, "Yo,
no,
y'all niggas gonna beat us."
No, because we got dogs too. No, because we got dogs too. We got dogs too. We got guys that can go out.
Got the bigger dog. Miami got the bigger dog.
No, they don't, because Kobe's the big dog. Kevin Garnett is a big dog. Tim Duncan is a big dog. First of all, listen.
No expectation.
No. Listen, that's the cap. You telling me a team that has 3 players on the roster is a championship team? You're capping.
That's what Johnny, I'm trying to tell you. It's the hype. Nobody, listen, I understand what you're coming from. They don't have a complete roster, riddled with injuries, a bunch of stuff. They waive players in the middle of the season.
He said you don't need a roster. He said you don't need a roster.
Let him talk.
Hold on for a second. I understand what you're saying. Like they didn't have a complete, because a championship team, you don't have those issues in the middle of the season. You don't have that in the beginning of the season. But I'm gonna be honest. I thought they was gonna win the championship. Okay, I thought that no matter what, because the story was that LeBron was carrying players that weren't elite to the finals or deep runs in the playoffs, and he couldn't do it by himself. So it didn't matter who you put on that roster. It didn't matter the trouble you were going to go through, that it was still expected of the Miami Heat to win. And it was because of the hype. It was because of the celebration. It was because this decision was televised. It was because it's LeBron James. Yes, you have
and
this
it wasn't
expectation
supposed to be
LeBron.
televised. It was, again, it was a private thing. It was on Sunshine Network at the time. It was on Sunshine Network, which is a regional channel. And they decided, because again, it was a big news, it was a big thing, to give it out to ESPN and all these other major networks, and they aired it and showed it as well. So it wasn't even supposed to be shown. Because let me tell you something, when Shaq came in 2005, he did the same shit. Shaq came in 2005, sat there in front of the Miami Heat arena, went inside the arena, big party, we're winning championships. Not one, he didn't just say all that. He said, we're winning championships. He said, well, I'm bringing rings to Miami. When he left Miami, got traded to Phoenix, he did the same thing. He sat in front of the crowd, pointing to the thing.
This is LeBron James, though. We're not talking about
We're talking about Shaq. We're talking about Shaq. Shaq and Shaq. Oh, wait. And Shaq did do that. That's what I'm saying. Shaq was the biggest thing then. Shaq took the Miami Heat from being just a fringe playoff team to a championship contender.
Shaq was becoming out of his peak, though, man. He was not in his peak anymore. He was still in his prime. He was still one of the best big men. All NBA first team. He was averaging double digits, rebounds, double-digit points. He was averaging over 20 points per game, 10 rebounds per game. He was still Shaq.
This was the same Shaq that he had.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you, but it still doesn't matter. He still had that celebration. No one, again, you guys put all this expectation on LeBron. That means in 2000. Oh wait, so that means. Oh wait, listen. So that means in 2000 and what's it called? 2009 and 10, you guys had LeBron as the greatest player that y'all ever saw.
Cool.
Basically, what y'all was saying.
Mike greatest player.
No, he was greater than Mike, because in '88 you didn't put that expectation on Mike. In '89 you didn't put that expectation on Mike. And 1990 you didn't put that expectation on Mike.
Mike didn't have no Finals MVP on his team.
Mike ain't never had expectation even in 1991. If Michael Jordan.
No, Mike wasn't expected until he actually started winning, and when he won, he never lost.
Y'all are lying. That is a lie.
So wait, no. So you're proving my point. You guys didn't even wait for LeBron to win yet. You said he was it before he won. You just said now he has to start winning.
The media said he was it before anything.
No, it wasn't the media. What media? What media?
Actually, in 16, 17. Who remembers LeBron James on ESPN during the midday showing the state championships?
Lou, stop jumping 7 years down the line. 2009, 2010, who had LeBron James as the GOAT in the media?
The GOAT or the best player in the world at that time?
The GOAT. Because again, Jordan was the GOAT at the time. Jordan was the best player in 88. Jordan was the best player in 89. Jordan was the best player in 1990. Jordan was the best player in 1991. He did not have those expectations. Again,
Hold on. They were calling Michael Jordan the greatest before he even won a. He had articles written about him like this is the best player we've ever seen.
I know they did. I know that. But they didn't have that No, they didn't have the expectation they put on like they did on LeBron.
So what was the expectation of Michael Jordan was the criticism that a two guard that is leading the league in scoring cannot win a championship. He's selfish.
Exactly.
And he still went and did it. That was the criticism, and those were the expectations. When LeBron went to Miami, he's got a significantly better roster. He's got a top 5 player.
No, he doesn't.
Significantly better.
Stop saying that, because when he signed
Dwayne Wade is not a top 5 player.
He wasn't. He wasn't better than Kevin Garnett. He wasn't better than Dirk Nowitzki. He wasn't better
Yes,
than
he was.
He wasn't better than those guys. He wasn't better than Kobe Bryant. He was not better than those guys.
Oh, you going off the deep end now. Bro, for 3 years, the top 3 players was LeBron, Kobe, and Wade.
Where was Dwayne Wade?
For 3 years.
Where was Dwayne Wade when the Heat had the worst record in 2008?
Wasn't he hurt?
No, because he played in the what's it called?
No, he played in the he missed a lot of games, but he played in the playoffs.
2009 and 2010 season, he got knocked out of the first round both times. Where was Dwayne Wade then?
You mean when he was averaging 30 points per game?
No, don't bring up 30
Yeah,
points per game.
he was a top Ajani. By 09, hold on, Ajani. By 09, 08, 09, Dwayne Wade was a top 3 player. It was him.
No, he wasn't.
LeBron and Kobe. Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
But after 06, you had to put Dwayne Wade top 5. What are you talking about?
No, he was not better than Dirk Nowitzki. He wasn't better than Tim Duncan. He wasn't better than Kevin Garnett.
He proved he was better than Dirk.
When?
06.
Oh my God.
By playing on a super team that the Heat were, that was a championship roster there.
That was no super team.
Yes, that was.
D-Wade was
the 06 Miami Heat were a super team.
You're in the league. Come on, man. Don't do this. Don't do this. You saying all of a sudden I was a super team. D-Wade wasn't even known then. Stop that.
The 2006 Miami Heat were better than the 2011 Heat.
Bro, we can move on. That is
now
wild.
move on. They had Shaq.
There's nobody on the 06 roster that's better than LeBron.
They had Shaq, all NBA first team.
Not better than LeBron.
They had Dwayne Wade. He was better than LeBron in 2006.
Not better than LeBron. 06 Wade was not better than.
We're not talking about LeBron. We're talking about Dwayne Wade, nigga. Stop skipping. We're talking
06 Wade is not better than 2010, 2011 Wade.
06 Dwayne Wade. No, he's not. 06 Dwayne Wade is not better than 06 Dirk Nowitzki.
He proved it.
He beat
Proved it why?
What are you talking about?
That's not beating it. That doesn't mean you're better than me because you beat him in the final. So are you telling me Isaiah Thomas was better than Jordan because he beat Jordan in 88 and 89? Answer my question.
When was Dirk Nowitzki?
Answer my question.
When was Dirk Nowitzki?
Isaiah Thomas beat Jordan back-to-back seasons in the playoffs. Did that mean he is better than Michael Jordan?
No, but you had to put respect on Isaiah and put him top 5. You had to put him top 5.
Isaiah Thomas was
Who didn't have Isaiah top 5 in 89? Okay, then. When Wade became a top 3 player was 09.
He was not. Isaiah Thomas was not a top 5 player in 1989, my friend.
Okay,
wow.
Johnny, who was the top? Because I thought a top 5 around that time was Kobe Bryant, LeBron, Wade, possibly Carmelo, and maybe Kevin Durant. Right around that time, like
No, Tim Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Garnett.
Hold on. KG after 08. Stop it. No, he's not in the conversation.
What was he in 08?
I said after. After 08.
No. What did he accomplish in 08 as far as a player? Did he win defensive player of the year?
He won defensive player of the year in a championship.
Was he making all defensive teams throughout that era with them?
Yes.
In Boston? Okay, then, so he was a top player. He was a top.
After 08, he was not a top 5 player.
He was better than Dwayne Wade.
No, he was not. After 08, no, he wasn't.
He was Dwayne. Listen, Dwayne Wade was hurt, like y'all said. Dwayne Wade. Listen, the Miami Heat got swept in 07 with Shaq. Swept in the first round by Chicago.
Yeah, we swept them.
Okay, so then you come back next year. You come back the next year. They have the worst season, the worst record almost in NBA history with Dwayne Wade. Then they come back in 09. They come back in 09.
He won the scoring title. He was the third best player. Yes.
No, listen. He wins the scoring title. That doesn't make you a top 5 player because you win a scoring title.
Okay,
bro, in 09,
top 5. LeBron, Kobe, Duncan, Dirk, KG.
No, KG after 08, after he tore his knee up, he was in nobody's top 5. Dirk was a choker. Nobody was putting Dirk, even though he had the MVP on that level. You're trying to tell, because you guys didn't even say Steve Nash. You guys didn't even say Steve.
Mac, I can't let you do it, Mac. I don't do narratives. Stop it. Choker. Dirk Nowitzki was winning league MVPs while Dwayne Wade wasn't. What are you talking about? This guy
by 09. Go ahead.
Tim Duncan is making all NBA first team, all defensive first teams. These guys are better than Dwayne Wade, man. Dwayne Wade wasn't doing nothing. You guys praised Dwayne Wade for having Shaquille O'Neal and a championship roster built
I'm not saying all time.
Shaquille O'Neal. I'm not saying all time. Around that time, Dwayne Wade was not a top 5 NBA player. He was a top 5 free agent option. He was a top 5 free agent option. But nobody, again, Kevin Garnett is the ticket.
Ajani.
Kevin Garnett.
When Kevin Garnett tore his knee, he was not top 5. By the time Wade entered the 08-09 season, and he carried that weak garbage Heat squad and won the scoring title, the top 3 players was Wade, LeBron, and Kobe. The only other player that can even consider the conversation with you guys, I don't know why you're missing him, is Chris Paul. Chris Paul was considered a top 5 player. It wasn't Dirk.
I would say as well. Again, we're naming a lot of players. That's why Dwayne Wade wasn't top 5. That's what I'm trying to explain.
Carmelo wasn't better. Carmelo wasn't better than Wade.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I thought Carmelo was in the top 5 as well around that time.
The debate by 08-09 season, I had Wade, LeBron, and Kobe top 3. Then I had Chris Paul.
What did the NBA have?
He had to be top 3. I don't know what the NBA had. He had to be top 3. People would say,
okay, who was all first team in the 09-010 season then? Who was the NBA?
Again, Wade plays shooting guard. He's not going to get first team over Kobe.
All right, let's go to Bleacher Report top 50 NBA players stars of 2010. So off the top, let me see here.
It'll probably be Kobe, Dirk, Tim, LeBron, D Wade, Steve Nash.
All right,
Gilbert's probably up there.
Right,
Gilbert in 2010? No, he was
2000.
No, I'm talking about 06.
Bleacher Report has LeBron is number 1, Kevin Durant's number 2.
Yeah, I knew Kevin Durant.
Stephen Curry's number 3. No, wait, this got to be wrong. Wait a minute.
That got to be 2010s.
That has to be 2010.
I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, 2010s.
That's the era.
Okay. Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. That's the era, not the 10. Let me see who the top players.
Yeah, man, I saw Dwayne Wade was definitely top 5. I thought Carmelo was top
15.
5.
Top 15 ranked players going into the 2010 season. This is what this one is. This is the top 10 players going into the 2010 season after Dwayne Wade won the scoring title. So they got Kevin Durant's number 1.
Yeah, I knew Kevin Durant.
Number 2. Steve Nash is number 3.
Oh,
they
have
fucking Kobe Bryant. They have Kobe Bryant number 4. Deron Williams. This is going into the season. So they're basically just saying the best players, I guess, going in from 2009 to 2010.
Yeah,
that's you see what I'm saying? That obviously, so they're going off of which Dwayne Wade's scoring title season, but they don't even have him better than Deron Williams. They have Carmelo Anthony 6. Then Dwayne Wade comes in at number 7. Then it's Dwight Howard. Oh, that's another person you could put in front of Dwayne Wade too. I forgot about Dwight Howard. Throughout 2009, 2010, Dwight Howard was a monster as well. That's another guy I forgot about.
I'm
So no,
taking
Dwayne Wade is definitely top 10. I would tell you if you want to argue him being top 5. I've heard people say it, but
Yeah,
man,
if you
there
would have
was
said
some
top
really
10,
good.
you would have got no argument from me. But I knew D Wade was not top
Then what was
top
Chris
5 or
Bosh
even
then?
top
Because
3 in
He
2009, bro.
was
people
top.
say
Chris
Chris
Bosh
Bosh
He
was
was the
nowhere
third
near
best
that.
player in the league.
Chris Bosh
people
was
would say
nowhere.
Chris
According to
Bosh
you.
was top 10 in that time. He was averaging 24 and 10. They would say that he was a star player, averaging 24 and 10. Even though I know that he didn't go to the playoffs and didn't win All NBA, but I thought he would be a top 10. He was top 10 in rebounds and top 10 in scoring. So
Here,
I don't know.
let me see. I got Slam top 50 players. Top.
And that was the 2010 season.
2010.
Yeah, that's going in. That was after the 09 season.
Let me see here. I see. Well, hold on.
Kobe at number 4 is crazy.
Yeah, Kobe
That
at number
is
4 is
crazy.
crazy. And here, look, somebody put here Dwayne Wade at number 2. Then somebody here has
Number
Dwayne
2.
Wade this guy. These are people in the comments. It's LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Rose, Kobe, Dwight Howard, Nowitzki, Carmelo, Durant, Rondo, Paul. That was his top 10. Then somebody got Kobe, LeBron, Rose, KD, Howard. Then the next person has LeBron, Wade, Kobe, Dirk, Durant. Now these are people that are commenting from these are 13-year-old comments. I'm on Slam Online.
So, hey Johnny, hey Johnny, this is the only thing I will agree with them on.
Out of the 6 people here, 3 of them have Dwayne Wade in the top 5 in their comments.
Yeah, he was definitely top 5, man. I swear he was top 5. He was legit. He was an MVP candidate and whatnot.
He was number 3 in voting one year for MVP.
No, he was. I'm not saying that. He was definitely a top 10 player. He had one good season, which was 2009. But he wasn't.
Man, he was a baller. He said one good season.
No, I'm talking about a season to be put in the top 5. To
man,
say,
you a Heat fan. You a Heat fan.
I know. That's what y'all don't understand. I'm not a bias. I seen it. I watched Dwayne Wade play. I've been to games. Listen, 07 Dwayne Wade was nowhere to be found. 04, when he was his rookie season, nowhere to be found. It was Lamar Odom's team.
What?
Yes,
Dwayne.
In 04. And 04.
Him and Ron, don't do that.
Man, Dwayne Wade rookie year is monster. What are y'all talking about?
Not his team though, man. He was not the best player on the
team. Especially what he did in the playoffs.
No,
y'all are tripping.
Forget the playoffs, because you only remember the playoffs. Y'all don't watch the regular season. What did Dwayne Wade do in the 04 season? What was his numbers?
He averaged between 16 or 18 points per game.
Okay.
As a rookie.
Okay.
Yes, as a rookie, and then dominated. He took over the team his rookie season, and then to come to playoffs, he was the best player and the closer. He was the best player on the team in the playoffs.
Again,
he took him to the second round.
It was Lamar Odom's team. He took them to the playoffs.
Shit, Lamar Odom I never had no team. Man.
How do you get Shaquille O'Neal? Because of Lamar Odom.
He was a piece, but he
He was the only piece. You couldn't get him without Lamar Odom.
No, Lamar Odom and Karan Butler were supposed to be the 2 best players, and Wade better than Wade rookie.
I know that.
Wade rookie overcame and became the best player.
No, he
towards
wasn't.
the playoffs. Yes,
no, he wasn't.
That's why.
Dwayne Wade only averaged 18 points per game in the playoffs, my friend. What did he took over? What did he take over? What did he do?
What do you mean? What did he do? He had game-winning shots.
That's what I'm saying.
He the reason they won the first round, and he played great versus Indiana Pacers.
I got to take Johnny, man. He really defending this.
No. Listen, I'm gonna leave it alone because again,
a rookie Wade averaging 18. That's crazy.
No, he averaged 16 during the regular season. He played only 60 games during that season, and I'm telling you, I remember going to those games, and I remember Lamar Odom leading the Miami Heat, being the best player on that team.
Person, bro. That man's a baller. I know that. I've seen him play in person.
I never said Dwayne Wade's not a baller. I'm just saying this idea that what he did in 2006 NBA Finals all of a sudden catapults him all over all other players when his career tells you what it was. I have him in my top 20 greatest players of all time. But that's beyond the point. I view him objectively as when I'm a fan of a team, I get in on you. I really have expectations on you. And I had some expectations on Dwayne Wade that he didn't fulfill.
I'll take Dwayne Wade's first 10 years over a lot of people. I got him in my top 20 as well. His first 10 years is what you judge him off of. From the time he was drafted 03 to 2013.
He had LeBron to help him. He had Shaq to help him. Everything that you're praising him for is not because of Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade never led a team outside of a first-round playoff. Never did.
He did lead a team. It wasn't Shaq's team. It was Wade's team.
It was Shaq's team. Everybody went there to go play with Shaq.
Shaq's team, bro.
That was Shaq's team. 05, 06 was Shaq's team. And it wasn't. Yes, it was. It was Shaq's team.
Wait,
Gary Payton.
I thought Pat Riley said to Shaq that it's going to be Wade's team for the team.
No, he didn't. Pat Riley came down for Shaq. Pat Riley came down for Shaq. He didn't come down because Dwayne Wade. He came down for Shaq.
Why did Gary Payton say? Why did Gary Payton say we? It's not your team, Shaq. We putting it in Wade.
I mean, yeah, it was Gary Payton. My bad.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end the show because you guys don't listen. I'm a Miami Heat fan. Shaquille O'Neal arrived to Miami to win championships. Ain't no fucking second-year player from Marquette helping you win no goddamn championship. The Heat filled that roster up with veteran players to help Shaq win another championship. Dwayne Wade was lucky to be a top 5 pick. At the end of the day, Shaq was the leader of that team. Gary Payton came because of Shaq. Jason Williams came because of Shaq. Antoine Walker came because of Shaq. Alonzo Mourning returned because of Shaq. Pat Riley came down from the rafters to be a coach because of Shaq. They built the roster around Shaq. Dwayne Wade was the franchise piece because Shaq was only supposed to be that temporary. Shaq was a rental. We were only supposed to have Shaq for 3-4 years. That was the plan. Dwayne Wade was the franchise player. In those finals, the Heat did exactly the same thing that they did with Shaq, that they did with LeBron James. They told Shaq, let Dwayne Wade take over for us because he has it here. We're going to win the championship with Dwayne Wade. What Gary Payton told him was, yo, don't argue this. You brought me over here. Let's do this. Let's let them do this. Let's not argue over it. And Shaq complied because Shaq is also a team player. So Shaq said, all right, we'll do this. And they went through Dwayne Wade for the finals. But throughout the whole run, everything was Shaq. Everything was Shaq. Shaq got Stan Van Gundy out of the coaching team. Like, you guys are always lying. Because for the last 15 years, y'all have just been lying. I lived this, bruh. I'm a Miami Heat fan. I remember all of this. I remember Lamar Odom getting a franchise contract to be a Miami Heat player because he was a baller. He was ahead of his time. But he ended up going to LA and playing his role behind Kobe Bryant. And Kobe Bryant loves Lamar Odom because he knows how great of a player Lamar Odom is. The Miami Heat team was built to win a championship from day one when they got Shaq. But they also knew they weren't going to win a championship that first year because they had to build a roster because you traded almost everybody for Shaq. They didn't just trade away Lamar Odom and Caron Butler, but they traded other pieces as well. So you get Shaq, and then you added pieces. Eventually, we got Antoine Walker. Then we got Jason Williams. Then we got all these guys. Those guys came after all of that. So listen, man, it's been a great show. I actually went way longer than I needed to go. Thanks for everybody in the comments. I hope y'all are hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. This was actually the Friday Night Exposure I've been waiting on. Listen, y'all, I come with facts, man. I have the information. I'm not just making this shit up just to make things up. You guys are running with tabloid myths that are not real. Dwayne Wade did not lead the Miami Heat to a championship in 2006. The leader of that team was Shaquille. If you're going to believe Gary Payton when he said that he told Shaq to let Dwayne Wade do it, then why didn't you listen to Gary Payton when he told y'all that they used to throw plays away that Pat Riley used to run for Dwayne Wade to give the ball to Shaq? How are you a leader when Dwayne Wade's like, yo, run this play, and they look at him and say, nah, we ain't running this play. Go over there and do this. We gonna fucking run this other play. He wasn't the leader. Dwayne Wade was a young kid out of college. There was nobody he was not gonna be leading a bunch of veteran NBA stars and Hall of Famers like Alonzo Mourning and Gary Payton and Shaquille O'Neal. That's why Pat Riley had to come down, because you needed to regulate all of these guys. You had superstars. Stan Van Gundy couldn't do it, and definitely Dwayne Wade wasn't going to lead nobody. So y'all got to stop lying, man, and accept it. You guys just proved tonight that LeBron James was so great in your eyes as of 2010 that as soon as he teamed up with Dwayne Wade, it didn't matter who was on the roster. It didn't matter who he was with. He was supposed to win an NBA championship and continually went on out. You guys make LeBron James the GOAT because you never put no expectation on any player in NBA history. Not Kobe Bryant, not Michael Jordan, not Stephen Curry. None of these players that you guys love to put in front of LeBron James, you guys have no expectations for them to actually do the things that you want LeBron James to do. So I'm sorry I had to kick y'all off because I got to get up out of here. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. I'm done with y'all. Y'all have a great Friday night. Again, remember to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Check out becoming a member of the channel. Also, this Sunday, we're going to go live. Brandon and I are going to go live. We're going to do our show. We're going to talk about LeBron James. We're going to definitely get it done. So you guys go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you for joining me. It is another Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. I'm going to get up out of here. You guys enjoy yourself. Thank you very much.